You're listening to a Countout Podcast. So, Curtis, I got to tell you that even at 6:19 a.m., when I'm tired as fuck, that thing gets me popping, man. It brings me back.
Dude,
and gets me ready. Thank you, Owen.
It gets you good to go, right?
It gets me good to go. And as if I wasn't already so pumped from the events from the last 2 days, I get on here at the fucking start of the day, super early, talk to my homie. I mean, we've been on the phone for like an hour just talking bullshit when we should be podcasting quickly before wives need to go to work and stuff. But yeah, I'm ready to talk some New Japan with you, man.
I think this is going to be like an Okada short, but a long short.
Yeah,
I guess.
I've met us before.
Like not a full episode. We're going to go through what we thought of Wrestle fucking Kingdom 17, baby, and then exactly. New Year's Dash on top of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can I let you in on a little secret?
Yes, please.
There was not one bad fucking match over the last 2 days.
Yeah, it was a good fucking time. My friend dropped in and friend of the show, Travis, guest host of one time.
Travis.
Yeah. He sent me a message and he was like, "Is there any particular matches besides the main events I should catch on Wrestle Kingdom?" Because he's not as, a bigger fan of New Japan. And I was like, man, do yourself a favor and just carve out the time and watch the whole thing. Just watch it from start till finish and you will have a great time. And I stand by that.
You can cut out the pre-show if you want to. Yeah. Like, you don't have to watch the Rambo, but like the show proper was
that's what I said. If you don't have all the time, just go from the Super Junior tag match. But really you could watch the whole thing. Actually, now I think about it, I fucking still haven't watched the Fujinami Suzuki multi-man tag because I mean I'll tell the full story, but the day before when Wrestle Kingdom was on, I'm on leave at the moment. I took days off work so I could enjoy Wrestle Kingdom, and in the morning dropped the doggy into the dentist at 7:45 a.m. an entire day to have a small procedure. Pick her up, no worries, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to watch Wrestle Kingdom, and it's the best. What ended up happening was our dental surgery, which is probably the biggest, also emergency surgery in WA, had like an emergency dog come through or something like that, and so they didn't get to start Mochi's procedure until like 1:30 in the afternoon. And so, obviously, I want every doggy in the world to be saved. Totally fine. I completely get it. But this did fuck up my Wrestle Kingdom plans really badly in that, I'm driving out to this place, which isn't close to me, as Catch-22 are hitting the ring, So I'm listening to the first, until the start. I pulled into my house at the start of the Zack Sabre Jr. match and got up just in time to watch the end. So I heard the entire start via, just listening to it, I had seen the pre-show, though, and as I walked out the door, that match was coming on. And I just remembered yesterday when I rewatched all the bits I hadn't seen, I didn't catch that tag. So you'll have to tell me about that if we're going to talk about the pre-show at all. We'll probably give it a quick rundown. You can let me know what that was like.
We're going to go through the show. Now, this is not how we normally do things. I mean, we do this for the G1. We go through every match. We give our ratings, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's not who we are as people.
Yeah.
If you want ratings, if you want, a thorough breakdown, you can listen to things like Super J. Super J is fucking amazing for that. Joel and Damon are the fucking best. Our show is vibes.
Absolutely.
And we're going to vibe. We're going to go with our thoughts for the show, but we're going to break it down by how we feel, how excited it gets us. How hard are your nipples? How hard are your nipples for what
Rock
we're going
hard.
on?
Rock hard.
Oh, rock hard. So good. So good for you. All right.
Before you jump into it, you got to tell everybody who we are. We've done that thing again where we just like get halfway through the show and we don't do our intro. I derail it every time. I'm sorry.
How dare we? Well, we are the boys from the shorts. We are the International Wrestling Grand Prix, the king of shorts, the Okada Shorts podcast. I'm your good friend, Curtis Spears. That's your bad friend, Rafe Houston, right there.
What up?
And we are ready to talk New Japan fucking pro wrestling, Wrestle Motherfucking Kingdom 17. Oh my God.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's break it down.
Let's fucking go, bro. So the show opens, the opening match. It's a 3-minute limit of Oiwa, beautiful, bubbly Oiwa versus Oleg Bolton, who is a house.
Yes.
The boy is
Brick
humongous.
House, I believe.
I remember you were texting me because I was still on the bus home for this. I didn't get home until directly after the Rambo.
See, as you were getting home was me getting in my car, right? Like that's when we were like, I'm like, cool, my life's fucked. I'll see you. I'll talk to you in a like, yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna fucking drive this car off a cliff. I can't watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a 3-minute time limit that ended with a time limit draw, obviously. So I remember you going, I gotta rewatch that. Because I didn't know it was starting and I didn't know it was already over.
Well, I was just like, Wrestle Kingdom starting. It's obviously the pre-show. I'm like getting some snacks. I'm just like doing some bustling about in the kingdom. Some young lions have run to the ring. I turned around and it was like over. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was watching it, but I wasn't like sitting there watching it, So
yeah.
A couple of notable takeaways. I know that, Oleg's a real big prospect for them. I know he's been like training with Nagata for like, I don't know, years now. So it was interesting to see, A, his debut was at Wrestle Kingdom. So they're obviously super high on him. B, he wasn't wearing the usual young lion garb. Like he was already coming out in his, wrestling singlet and stuff like he would have used in pro wrestling, but just like a New Japan version. And then C, he didn't lose his debut match, which is the normal thing for a young lion, like they always lose to like the senior guy. That's just like sort of the way it goes. Exception to that would be like Yuya and I'm brain fading. I called him the Black Tiger Mask the last time. Very big.
Yota
Tsuji, because they debuted at the same time. So they used to draw all the time, and so, I mean, he didn't technically beat Oiwa, but they had a mechanism in place so he didn't lose. And he looked very, very dominant and was doing things beyond just like Boston Crabs and stuff. So my thought is that with this guy, they're obviously thinking a lot of him. And now they're I don't think we're going to see like a long run as a young lion for this man. Like, I think they're going to be elevating him very quickly.
Well, I read somewhere, and Twitter, so we'll see how much this actually is the truth, but I read somewhere that Nagata was going to be taking time off to work more closely with him specifically.
Right.
So that's pretty fucking cool, man.
It is. And, I mean, this man is apparently, a world, one of the best in the world, Greco-Roman wrestlers, or, amateur wrestlers as they call them. So I'm sure he's a very different kind of prospect to your normal, kid that hits the dojo, with no experience at all, So I'm sure they're like, we're not going to fuck around and make him jump through those same hoops. I'm sure he's been doing the rounds, and I'm sure he's been humbled, and he's, been in the dojo and stuff, but I'm sure they're like speeding this shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not an old man, he's a young man still at this point. He's like you said, a top prospect, but I don't think he's done growing yet. He's not even filled out yet. Like he's a house, and he's gonna be bigger.
Yeah. He's huge. And what a weekend for Oiwa as well. Like in that, so they've highlighted him, they've put him in with the new top prospect on Wrestle Kingdom, the only young lion to have a match on it. he obviously doesn't win. And so he's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I've been put in this spot, but it's a 3-minute time limit, didn't have the opportunity to win, and I'm kind of served up to this dude. And then the events of New Year's Dash, which we'll get to when we talk to that. But like they're already planting seeds for Oiwa's future. And it's just interesting, and Vegeta's future and stuff like that. And these guys are young lions, where notably that normally these people don't even get talked about until they get back from excursion. You know, like they're kind of nobodies until they come back, but they're already doing kind of interesting things with this new class. And I mean, I think it speaks to the time like that we're living in, and also like the physical conditioning and effort of these students, you know? Like I remember seeing young lions just being like pudgy little dudes, you know, shaved heads, just trying to figure it out, kind of thing. These dudes are coming in ripped to the gills, like, you know, ready to go, and you see them wrestling match, and you're like, these guys are already pretty developed before we were even seeing them. So it's just interesting to see where the whole young lion system is getting to.
Well, I think with the LA dojo specifically, and with after our conversation with Mike Richards, we now know that the New Zealand dojo, like they're taking wrestlers who have wrestled for a long time. Like Clark Connors yesterday celebrated his 7th year of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, so like they're coming in and they're wearing just their black trunks and they're shaving their heads and they're making the chanka and stuff like that. But like, man, like they're way more advanced than the the Japanese dojo, the Noge dojo. Like those guys are just pulling dudes out of high school.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
So.
And I know, like, didn't Michael said as well, like, what's that young lion's name? He's one of the ones in the Noge dojo, the kind of the sort of cool bad boy one. But he was like, yeah, he like Michael Richards was teaching him to wrestle like a couple of years ago, you know, before we ever saw him on New Japan TV and stuff. So they're obviously, they're sending them places and stuff first before we're even getting kind of a look at them. So they're really like intensifying that training and stuff. It's just very interesting to see them, like, you know, developing people so quickly.
And yeah, it's cool how the system is evolving over time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still, one of the best in the world. So anyway, it was a very quick match, but I think it was an interesting spotlight at just the development of this person that they're obviously putting a lot of stock into. And he's a big fucking dude, man. Like you saw him, like, you know, he was doing ring crew for the first time at New Year's Dash. He's bigger than a lot of the wrestlers, you know. Like he's standing there, and you go, man, he's a fucking big dude.
Yeah, he's an intimidating feller.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see more of him. Next up was the opening match number 2, KOPW 2023. The 4 people that ended the Rambo were Sho, the Great Okan, Toriano, and Shingo Takagi. This was 30 minutes of a Rambo. Okay.
Rambos are fun. It was fun. It was interesting to see TMDK be so dominant. They were the first people to start like eliminating people like in quick succession and stuff. I thought that was you know, boded well for my Australian Perth brothers. So I'd love to see that, and it kind of spoke to where they're going to be positioned in New Japan. And yeah, lots of fun moments. I was messaging you because you were still on the bus on the way home, and I was like, we're shaping up for a real good Final Four here. And I was really thinking it was going to be Shingo, Okan, ELP, and Tai Chi. And they would be my top 4 to be in there easily. Then, obviously, some eliminations happen and stuff, and it ends up being Yano and Sho. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but I can see why they did that, though, because, you know, they needed Tai Chi to be in another place and, you know, and they were doing other things with ELP and stuff. So they don't need them really tied up in that stuff. So fair enough. I was a bit scared that Yano was going to win and we were just going to reset back and undo like all the good work that Shingo's been done. But then it may not matter anyway because Shiko, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but Shiko looks set to just deliver KOPW right back to fucking Okada and go clean up your own fucking mess. So.
The only, the spot that really stuck out for me was the Taichi and Great-O-Khan moment where they kind of had that face off in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Cool. There were some great spots, like you said, TMDK was sick. Aaron Hanare's new gear, like his Muay Thai boxing gear, fucking sick.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, how is Best Dressed continuing to go to the United Empire? Yeah. Just all the fucking time.
They got a stylist on call.
So good. Whoever, pay that person extra because Jesus Christ, that's badass.
Remind me real quick. What's fucking our dude? What's the guy called that always announces? Gideon Gray. Was he on Wrestle Kingdom? I don't remember seeing him anywhere.
Geez, now that you mention it, I don't remember seeing him.
He might have come out with Ospreay and the crew, but yeah, you didn't hear him on the mic anywhere or anything like that. Yeah, he was kind of absent. Yeah, which is a shame. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. He's fantastic as far as the voice goes for everybody.
Because you didn't see him with Catch 22. You didn't see him. Yeah, he normally comes out with everybody. Interesting. I wonder where he was. But yeah. Anyway,
maybe just didn't make it over this time.
Maybe.
Next up was the Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag match. Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Togi Makabe versus Tiger Mask, Minoru Suzuki, and Tatsumi Fujinami. Minoru Suzuki and Tiger Mask teaming up. That was cool.
Interesting.
Unexpected. There was kind of a glitch between Togi Makabe and Tiger Mask when they went for the finale, the big closing section of the match. Tiger Mask went to get up on Makabe's shoulders, and I don't know if Tiger Mask couldn't jump high enough or Makabe couldn't get a good grip on him to pick him up. It was a pretty gnarly botch. They couldn't cover for it very well because that was the final move. These are the dads. People I saw ripping them on Twitter and stuff like that. Oh, I fucking botched the Antonio Inoki mama. Shut up.
The fuck up. They're legends. It doesn't matter.
These Tiger Mask is 50 something. Togi Makabe's in his late 40s.
They're just out there trying to do the best shit they can. You know what I mean? And
they're having fun, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the people in this fucking match is Tatsumi Fujinami, who is 130.
Yeah. He's the original young living legend, right?
Because he's Methuselah.
Yeah, better body than me, and he's But yeah, wasn't he? Who said it? Somebody said it on a podcast or something, probably Super Jackass or whatever. That Fujinami, I think, was Inoki's first student. That's how long this dude's been doing this.
Yeah. So you can't say, oh, this dude botched thing, blah blah blah. Shut the fuck up, man. It's not. It's the pre-show. They're just out there to get a paycheck and to try their best for a person that they all knew who passed away. They wanted to have a good match, and they had a pretty good match. Let it go.
Exactly.
Yuji Nagata rules.
Yeah, it's best not to read the internet. I find. I saw he gets suggested articles and stuff come up on Facebook. Some dude's take popped up. I guess he's got a wrestling 24/7. I don't know what it's called. Who even cares? But just having a bitch about New Japan's booking of Kenny and Okada and it being a mistake, and hope everybody leaves and New Japan in the bin. And I was just why is Facebook showing me this, and why would I ever care about this person's stupid opinion? I don't, the takes out there can be so bad. It's best to just surround yourself with positive people that like the same shit as you. You know what I mean? I don't want to I don't care about some dude's short-sighted fucking take. I do not care. So.
That's exactly what I said to you when we started this podcast. I said there's too many wrestling podcasts out there where people just bitch and I just want to talk about the thing I love, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I want to have fun with it. Of course, we'll call it out if something's bad, because you can't just be short-sighted all the time and only say good things. You can't do that. But it's better to focus on the things we like than to bitch about the things we don't. Because there's too much negativity in the world anyway.
Who cares? If you look for it, you can see plenty of people complaining about dumb things all the time, and I ain't got time for it. I love this stuff too much. So.
Yeah, so let's see here. The first match, the actual proper Wrestle Kingdom card, starts with Lio Rush and Yo, the winners of the Super Junior Tag League 2022, versus Francesco Akira and TJP in their third defense. TJP and Francesco Akira, about 10 minutes, got a nice win, a good defense where I didn't think they were going to. We saw Lio Rush got fucked up, man. He had a bunch of stitches in his face and things like that after a gnarly move. Was it like an X Factor?
Yeah, I think so. It went wrong though, and I didn't realize until the press conference when I saw him. I was like, oh, he didn't just get color or whatever. He actually got fucked up. His face is wrecked. But yeah, he kept going, and more credit to him. I got to say that it could have been the botch X Factor that injured him, or it could have been Akira in the press conference the day before absolutely murdering him with that call where he goes, where Akira's proven to be a feisty little motherfucker, man. He goes, I'm going to make history and I'm going to be the first Italian to wrestle on Wrestle Kingdom. And then he goes, and hey, Leo, maybe you can make history too, because after we beat you, maybe you can retire from your third company and be the first ever retirement Grand Slam winner. And I was like, yo, this motherfucker just lit him up. They call him Bruhare or whatever, the fucking arsonist or whatever it is. That's where the fucking flames are, man. He lit him up.
Fireball.
It was sick.
It's a straight up fireball.
I was like, 100%. Yo, there has been a fucking murder here. So, yeah, I absolutely love that. I was like, he's so funny.
Killer match.
It was great.
Even Yo, we're not fans of Yo. But yeah, he took the fall in this match and he still looked really good. Everyone came out looking really good. And I mean, people bitch so often about TJP. And I mean, I have too. I may not like the dude, but man, that fucker can wrestle, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And
what a fucking wrestler.
I think you could say that the success of Catch 22 and everything they've managed to do and innovate and create as a cohesive team in such a short time, a lot of that credit would go to him, you would think, because he's such a veteran, and yeah, that they've become a fully formed team faster than any team I've ever seen. Look how long it's taken Bishamon, and even then, some of their moves and stuff are pretty lame, but Catch 22 were always inventing new stuff and doing stuff together and working together, and that's what you want from a team, especially a Super Junior team. So, yeah, it was good, and it's what you want from a Wrestle Kingdom opener, just an explosive balls to the wall tag match. And I don't hate that the United Empire won, because I think there's an ongoing story they're telling with Yo, they're telling with Leo here, and Catch 22 have got other things to be doing.
And let's get more Lio Rush in New Japan.
Exactly. We'll talk about him more as we get to New Year's Dash. He wasn't on it, but what the consequences of everything mean and what his take will be on it. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Next match was the IWGP Women's Championship match. Kairi successfully defending against Tam Nakano with the insane elbow drop. And this was only a 6-minute match. It was hard hitting. I wish they could have given him a little bit longer, but yeah, fucking awesome. I'm a big fan of Kairi. I like Tam Nakano. I love the dichotomy of Tam Nakano, where she comes out and she looks like an adorable princess, and then she gets fucking hardcore right in your face and just blasts you in the head.
Yeah.
My wife was really excited. She came out, the sparkly princess and everything like that. My wife got really into it, and she's like, "Oh my god, does she have a fucking pole arm?"
Yeah.
I was like, Yes, as a matter of fact, I believe that's a halberd. I don't know for sure. Don't fucking at me. And yeah, she was like, I love her.
It's cool, man.
So that was really cool.
The platform that they're giving Stardom here is really cool. And then obviously the debut of Mercedes Moné, like, you know, Bushiroad, you know, TV Asahi, whatever, are putting money into this to really sort of bring eyes to that product. And I think it's really cool. I think those wrestlers and the effort they put in definitely deserve it. And it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I thought it was interesting, sort of the cadence and how slow Mercedes was speaking, but I feel like that was probably a choice. Like, they were probably like, yo, it's predominantly a Japanese crowd, speak slowly, make sure everybody understands what you're saying, because you know how it was really sort of drawn out and sort of slow. I think she was trying to really get it across in the building to everybody what she was saying. But yeah, she looked the part, and it's going to be interesting to see that match down the road and see how many new eyes it can bring in.
So many people were, you know, again, calling this the big botch and stuff, like, oh, she didn't get the pop that she. Okay, tell me you don't watch fucking Puroresu without telling me you don't watch Puroresu.
Yeah.
The fans reacted the second they saw her face pop up on the screen.
Uh-huh.
The fans reacted when she shook Kyrie's hand. The fans reacted when she hit her new finishing move, which, of course, yes, it was not hit properly. Okay, yeah, but the fans weren't cheering or anything like that for us. Like, no, they're fucking Japanese. They're being polite. When you're talking, they sit quietly.
Yeah, they're not doing Watts or like chanting Sasha Banks or some fucking annoying shit. So.
Yeah. Tell me you don't watch fucking Puro without telling me you don't watch Puro. Yeah, she's gonna draw money to this company and eyes to this company, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was
this Battle in the Valley. It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes and the whole new look and everything like that. I think it's gonna be cool.
Dude, she looked nuts. She looked like a Tekken character. It was fucking fantastic.
Exactly. She pulled that Ariana like turn myself Asian move. Like where you just like, I'm just gonna be Asian now and like and just nail it. Like, yeah.
That was cool. The back of her coat said Banks on it in Japanese.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
That's pretty funny.
This so people are saying like, oh, when's she gonna end up in AEW? And evidently she's not. Yeah. Like, this is Stardom only, because they're going to give her the I guess the Brock Lesnar dates. You know, she's gonna have a couple of dates here and there, and like not gonna be a full-time touring wrestler or anything like that. So like, she doesn't want to go to AEW. She wants to be on fucking Star Wars shows and shit like that, and then come and wrestle in Japan, which is, you know, fucking swell.
Also, I think she wants to. She was always kind of a wrestler in NXT. You know, like when they were some of the first women's matches that were like really good that I had ever seen.
Yeah,
you know, I think she wants to show she's one of the best in the world. I think she wants to compete with the Stardom wrestlers who don't fuck around and show that she's like no joke. Like, I think you're gonna see some pretty amazing matches from her. Because people are like, oh, it's like when you're working like the WWE house style, it is what it is. I still remember that title match against Bayley at NXT, which is still one of like maybe the best women's match I've ever seen. Like, it was so good.
It's a fantastic match, period.
So good, just in general. Yeah, absolutely. One of the best NXT matches to ever happen. And it's like, she can tell those stories and tell that physicality and stuff with some of the best in the world. And Mercedes is like a huge wrestling fan. She has been her entire life. Like, she wears her wrestling nerdism like on her sleeve, and all her old photos and, you know, and things like that are everywhere. Like, she's going to want to fucking kill it. And she's not going to phone it in, and everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, this is the best female wrestler in the world by the time she's done, I think. Yeah.
The cuffs are off now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we're going to see some shit.
Yeah, and she's going to see some shit. She's going to want it so bad.
How did you hear the rumor that Bayley and Trinity Fatu were the Grim Reapers during Kyrie's entrance?
I did not, but now that you say that, that would be pretty cool. And I know that Bailey was definitely in the house. I saw that FTR picture and stuff. So
yeah. I don't know if that's true, but that would be really cool if it was.
It would be really cool. I don't know if it'd be true. It was pretty choreographed, so I don't know if they're just gonna, they'd have the time to be nailing that. So yeah.
So next up, the 60 minutes limit IWGP Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus Bishamon. Yoshihashi pins FTR bald right in the middle of the fucking ring after about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The absolute scenes. Yeah. I was ready for the Twitter meltdown when
was there a Twitter meltdown? I don't really move in those circles. So.
I didn't see one.
No, it's because they know he's the better wrestler. That's what it is.
Yoshihashi's the fucking man.
I will say that I'm stoked to see, like, I do everything that we said about Bishamon and Tag League and everything like that aside, I'm stoked to see New Japan just back in their own guys. I'd be like, fuck it, these are the best guys. They're our guys, But I do think that Bishamon's finish fucking sucks. Like, I like Godo's half of the finisher because I like that move, but Yoshihashi literally just sits down. He doesn't put an arm down to apply any additional pressure or whatever. You know what I mean.
All their finishes are just Yoshihashi lifts a dude waist high, and then Godo drops him.
Yeah,
that's every move they do,
and then Yoshihashi gets the pin. But he literally just, it's like, fuck, man.
But they got cool armor.
Yeah, he does have cool armor. He's done better hair as well. To be fair, though, there's a history in New Japan of terrible tag finishes. Like, just so little effort. Like, Magic Killer and fucking this. And, it just pisses me off. I'm like, just put in that little bit more effort and you can figure this out.
Here's another move where we lift you waist high and then drop you
and do nothing. Exactly. But hey, it was a good match.
Great match.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's good, and Yoshihashi always gets that sympathy, and yeah, I think it's good, and it crowns them, and it was fine. Was it my favorite match on the show? Absolutely not. But I still think it was super good, and I think that FTR worked hard, and it sounds like they're not done with New Japan either, so it'll be interesting to see if they
I hope not
come back around.
I hope not, man. I would love to see them again. There are some other teams in New Japan that it's weird to say that there's some more teams in New Japan.
I know.
But there's some other teams in New Japan that have I would love to see FTR face. I'd love to see of course TMDK versus FTR. I would love to see the new GOD or the old GOD versus FTR. That'd be fucking fantastic. Like there's people out there who
obviously Aussie Open as well. The
Aussie Open versus FTR. Let's run that back. Fucking A.
But yeah, they're
Forbidden Door 2, baby.
And they're building up a little stable here of tag teams they can use. So there's some cool stuff to go.
Yeah, definitely. So next up, Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. The 15 minutes limit NJPW World TV Championship Tournament finale. Zack Sabre Jr. wins in 10 minutes and 32 seconds with an arm lock cross hold to become the very first NJPW World TV Champion. Ugly ass belt. Again, words on a belt. He's the words on a belt champion.
He is.
But man, this match was fucking it, yo.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It was super fun. I enjoyed the press conference with them. I saw somebody on Twitter was like, this looks like two university professors that hate each other. And I think fucking Narita rocking the like John Lennon, style glasses, like John Lennon
like
chic.
Clark Kent to Superman.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I thought they were really good together. It was fun. I think the NJPW, world type matches, like this 15-minute time limit thing, is going to be really interesting and a sweet spot for Zach. And I was happy to see Zach win it, man. And then at the end, having TMDK come out, what's this going to mean? Noah history.
Which one of them
being
is challenging for the belts?
Yeah, exactly. Or are they about to jump him and there's like somebody else coming from behind or whatever. But no, they offer him to join TMDK, and he does, and we've got, you know, a new head of that faction, the front man, as they say, the front man of TMDK. There's no leaders, but there is the front man. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. Zack Sabre Jr., honorary citizen of Perth, basically my neighbour. So I'm very excited about that.
He lives in what was the block you said you live in?
I live in the 6,000.
6,000s.
Yeah, exactly. That's
where Zach lives. Zach's in the 6,000s today.
Exactly, he is.
So when do we get to see fucking Zach and Bad Dude Tito fucking run the World Tag League?
Oh, that would be so cool. I hope that happens. That would be dope. I mean,
shit, that would be so fucking rad.
Next year at the end of the year, I guess. But yeah, Big Teats and Zach would be awesome.
I'm so excited about that, man. Like, I was texting you, like, you know, I've been saying, like, I need to get a TMDK shirt. I was thinking about getting the Jonah one and all these things. And then now it's just like, well, now I have to.
Yeah. You were I'm doing it right now. Like, he had the shop up and was buying the shirt.
I was like, I'm fucking, I have to get this. There's no way around it. I was wearing my Suzuki Gun shirt, like, as it happened. And I was like, well, fuck now. All right, cool.
There you go.
It's fate.
But yeah,
it's fated.
It's going to be interesting seeing like these dynamics of these new factions as they develop. We'll obviously talk more about that as we get to New Year's Dash. But yeah, I love the idea of him with TMDK. That's cool.
Next up, in the match that we all thought was the piss break, 60 minutes time limit, never open weight championship match, the Rig. Tama Tonga defeats Machine Gun Carl Anderson via gun stun. Tama Tonga becomes the new never open weight champion. This match did not suck.
Yeah, it was good. There weren't bad matches on this show. It was really enjoyable. The
bright lights were shining in the Tokyo Dome.
They were shining. The elevation that this fucking dude gets on gun stuns and stuff, it's just crazy. The spring in Tama Tonga, right? Like, he's just absolutely nuts. Amy paid attention to this match, like, for the first time, I guess, since Tama has been a good guy. You know, she hasn't really been watching it and stuff. And then at the end, when he just, like, fucking tears away the fucking shirt to reveal the Rig, she was like, let's go. Like, also, it was pointed out by my friend Mo that she's like, why has Tama Tonga come as Turbo Man from that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and sent
jingle all the way.
Yeah, she was watching at home and sent through like a picture of that action figure, and I'm like, just not wrong.
That's fucking fantastic.
Oh
my god, I love that. That's great. I don't really have much to say about this match.
I mean, it was what it was, and it was enjoyable.
I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Amy had a good time. I did save the voice message that you sent me that just said the Rig
at full volume, squealing like a girl. I will say that after the in the post-match comments, there was kind of a nice moment where Tama talked about, you know, being there for 12 years and finally getting this singles moment at Wrestle Kingdom. He was like, Carl Anderson, I love you, bro. And then Carl interrupts the press conference, comes in. He talks to Tama's son. He's like, you're not mad at Uncle Chado, are you? And then he's like, I just had to be a dick for a few months while we made that money or whatever. And thanks, Chado, and gives him a hug and stuff, and everybody's friends, and he leaves. But, like, I wonder what's next for the Rig now, you know? So now, you know, his original never title reign was cut short. And then now we've completely reset. We're through that. Carl's gone back to WWE. I wonder who's next for Tama and where we're kind of going with this.
There's so many people that it could be. I mean, we can get into it around Dash, but like, if you had to pick a heel to come out against the newly minted, well, not even newly minted anymore. He's the babyface Tama Tonga, the babyface assassin, the Rig.
That was me saying it. You actually had that audio queued up. That was awesome. Got to drop that into my soundboard over here at some point.
Oh man, heck yeah. We're gonna get, what did you call it? Dingo ate your baby?
Yeah, exactly. It would be radio shock jocks where we just shoot off sound effects.
Morning zoo shock jocks. We have a wiener. Who are you gonna have up against Tama Tonga?
I'm trying to remember who he fought at Dash. I'm trying to remember who he was.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that. Okay, if I'm just fantasy booking at who I'm putting Tama against.
Top of your head. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. I think my answer is probably where it will eventually go, but probably Jay White, I guess. Like, I'm obviously taking into account the stuff that's going down with Hikuleo and stuff, but yeah, I think there's still a grudge to be settled. Tama had beat him in the G1. You know what I mean? There's a lot of animosity there, and I think there's still a little bit more fuel in that tank, you know, that they can sort of get from the two of them, and also keep Jay busy when he can't be in the world picture.
Okay, cool. I dig it. I mean, the ultimate bad guy versus the ultimate good babyface guy with the rig.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that'd be a good choice. Either that or ELP would be a good choice as well.
That was who I was thinking was ELP. But who knows? Yeah. We'll see. Let's go on to the Keiji Muto final match in New Japan. It's a 30-minute time limit, 6-man tag. Shota Umino, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Keiji Muto, so past, present, and future, versus LIJ, Bushi, Sanada, Tetsuya Naito. Shooter got the pin here over Bushi, like in the, under the bright lights in the big spot.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Felt great about it. It was the first time that Amy and Mo, they've been out of New Japan, over this last year. They weren't really about the clap crowds and being busy, and so not really about it. It was their first time watching Shooter properly, like since he's been back, and they were like, I can't believe our baby has grown up so much. And it was really fun to watch them just like loving seeing him, as a fully formed wrestler. And I felt the same way. I think, man, he's just got whatever it takes. You can see why they're putting him in these positions. I really enjoyed the match. It was super fun. We were all concerned that Muto could die at any moment or a knee could blow out because he wasn't moving like a healthy person, except for when the fucking match was over and he was fucking on his way back to the dressing room to fucking shower and get the fuck out of there so fast. You've never seen. He's like, yeah, cool, we've won, see ya. Like, he's just fucking though Tanahashi was making me laugh because he was like running with him and like pretending to shepherd him out like he's his young boy, and Muto's like, fuck off, man, and like laughing as he's like, everybody out of the way he's going through, like just taking the piss out of him, which was really good. But yeah, it was a fun little match, and like you could tell it sort of meant a lot to everybody in it. I know the LIJ guys that were fighting him obviously have looked up to him. Naito has said that, he's his favorite wrestler, and I know that Sanada counts him as a mentor, and that's why he does the moonsault and different things like that. So I thought it was fun and a good little send off for him. But yeah, it was all about building Shooter, which is probably why Muto didn't care that much when he was getting out of there.
Yeah, it was cool to see the three of them like together in the ring. Like we said, everyone kept saying past, present, and future. It's neat to see that evolution of the like charismatic over the top baby face, like that was Muto in the 90s and the 80s. And he had a dark side obviously with the the great Muta. But when you think of Keiji Muto, you think of like bucket loads of charisma, people screaming, like wanting to like touch him and see these amazing things that he could do. And like, that's Hiroshi Tanahashi, and that's going to be Shota Umino. Like the dude is that. He's going to be a great wrestler. He's going to be a legend. And it's fucking awesome that we get to, we've been in on the ground floor. We saw him as a baby. We saw him in the Young Lions Cup. We saw him, his first matches,
Exactly. It's fun to see him.
It's going to make me feel
grow.
really old.
Yeah. It's fun to see him grow and develop, and also he seems to grow in confidence literally every time you see him as well. You know what I mean? At first he sort of seemed timid and a bit nervous and that, but you know, he's falling into that role and he's finding it, you know. He may not have I don't know if he's necessarily got that charisma like as naturally as Tanahashi has it, because Tanahashi's a very, you know, boisterous sort of outgoing person, but he's finding his way, you know. He'll get there.
Definitely. So really fucking awesome to see Shooter get that pin under the bright lights, and he did it with the Death Rider too.
Yeah,
the fucking Death Rider DDT. Still
he does a
shouting out
good
Mox.
Death Rider as well. Like it looks like he's murdering people. It's cool.
Okay, 60 minutes time limit. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 4-way match. Master Wato, El Desperado, Hiromu Takahashi, and Taiji Ishimori. Ishimori loses the match, loses his belt because Hiromu pins Master Wato with the time bomb too. New junior heavyweight champion Hiromu Takahashi. Belt-san is back where he belongs. What'd you think of this match?
I love this match. I feel like they chose the least interesting winner, in my personal opinion. Like, it felt like Wato Mania was running wild. At the thing.
I was sending you messages. Wato's gonna do it.
Yeah,
Wato's gonna do it. I bought in.
At the time, I was concerned because I did not want him to win. But what's that fucking move? Because let's face it, I mean, he was even a little bit botchy in this. There was a fucking he takes like a, I don't know, kind of looked like a last ride power bomb from Hiromu or somewhere and just comes straight down on his head. And I was like, well, Wato's out now. He's literally fucking knocked out, was how it looked. And then...
I remember, yes, I said, oh, he's murdered.
Yeah, he's been murdered.
Wato dead, though.
But Wato does that thing where he sort of does like a fucking tossy type thing into a pin. I don't know. It looks like he murders...
Recipiente?
Yeah.
Something like that is what
whatever it is. It's cool, though. Like, because it looks like it fucking kills people. And then he, you know, there was a moment where he did that and it was so brutal. And then he lets the pin go. And even the commentators are like, what's he doing? And then he like goes to the top and like fucks it or whatever. But that move is just, he looks like he's killing dudes, when he does that.
Oh yeah. It's absolute fucking just like basically like hip toss power bomb.
Yeah. Type thing. And they just end up in the thing. It's cool.
Love it. Love it. Recipiente, I believe is what it's called. Something like that. Yeah. Fucking killer move. And yeah, like that's just him being young. I'm starting to think maybe this botchy thing that they're doing is like a long-term story that he's been telling.
There's no way. There's literally no way.
I'm talking galaxy brain. They were like, dude, you're going to come back. You're going to look like a complete shithead. You're going to fucking...
We're giving you the worst gimmick. We're putting you in blue. Like, you know, and pink.
Yeah, your gimmick, Sonic the Hedgehog. Here we go. And you're going to punch a tree. But like, I feel like because he's getting better and better and better every time you see him, and like the fans are getting more and more and more behind him, and he's always had that. Like Hirai Kawato had all the fan support in the world, and he comes back and people are like, what is this fucking joke? And I think it just takes a while for people, like clap crowds especially, for people to, you know, get over. Some of them need that interaction, and maybe he's just one of them that is.
And I think as well, like, it's pretty well documented he's been like training actively with Ibushi, and I think that's probably what's really starting to show as well. Like, you know, his physical transformation, he's, you know, been bulking up heaps, his fitness is getting up, his wrestling's getting better. I think it just needs more time, you know. But we're seeing shades. They gave him a huge chance to shine in this match, probably more than anybody else, and I think it really showed what he's capable of, and probably gives the first kind of signs that he could be a potential champion, where it wasn't that long ago that we were like, put him in the bin and he's done, you know. So he'll definitely be a future junior champ.
Yep, I'm planting the flag now. Wada's good now.
Okay,
deal with it. Okay,
deal with it.
All right.
But yeah, as far as winners, I personally wouldn't have mind, by the time it was all said and done, wouldn't have minded to see him win. Wouldn't have even mind Ishimori retaining. Obviously would have loved Despy to win. But Hiromu for me is kind of, they haven't really been doing anything with him. but obviously there's going to be a story they tell with Hiromu, and maybe there's some interesting combinations with him that they can still dial up, you know?
I hope so. It seems like they need a little freshening up in the junior division right now. Maybe a new face on top might be the best way to go.
Yeah,
But
maybe it's because Despy is going heavy.
maybe.
We'll talk more about him in New Year's Dash.
Yes, we will. Yes, we fucking will. Believe it. Next up, the first of the double main event, 60 minutes time limit, IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, Will Ospreay versus Kenny fucking Omega. Do you want to just go off about this fucking match?
I mean,
you were fucking you were on it.
I was on one about it, dude. I now find myself today not even having that much to say, because how do you fucking critique or talk about one of, I think, probably the best matches you've ever seen? Like, it was like, how many stars can a match get? Like, it was really.
This is not stars. It's constellations. Yeah. How many constellations can be thrown at this fucking match?
I haven't felt that fucking pumped about a pro wrestling match since I sat in my fucking mother-in-law's living room and watched the Dominion draw live between Kenny and Okada. You know, jumping out of my seat, like fucking going crazy. My wife fully engaged with wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, we were just like, this is fucking it. This is two of the best wrestlers in the world, if not the two best wrestlers in the world, doing it as good as it can be done, is how it felt. It was like peak performance. Every move hit, every reaction from the other person, like, just fucking as good as it can be done, man. It was really fucking awesome. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. From the second, like, fucking Kenny's entrance, like, his, you know, like the terrible hair and the fucking Sephiroth costume and the big one wing fucking video thing, and like, it just was main event. And then when it starts, like, I noticed the little typewriter, instead of saying like Commonwealth Kingpin or whatever it normally says, it goes Return of the Assassin. And then it had that little piano intro, and we're like, is this the Elevated? And then when Elevated comes back in and he comes out as the assassin again, and all the fucking, you know, I was like, this is just fucking it. They're setting Ospreay up to fucking, you know, be the new hero of New Japan, coming this invading force. And then Amy's like, do you think, like, Ospreay's going to win, right? And I'm like, it's probably 60-40 Ospreay, you know? And then when they pull the Omega win, I was like, oh, he's not done, and that's the fucking best. Because this is, when I told you I read that stupid take on Facebook of somebody carrying on about the short-term booking and just putting over a fucking, you know, somebody that left New Japan for AEW and all that. Yo, this is the beginning of a story, you dumb fuck, if that person's listening to this now, whoever wrote that article. You know what I mean? It's the beginning, and they're setting Ospreay up to be the biggest star in the fucking world. You know what I mean? He even in his thing has given himself a year to be where he wants to be, and whether it's heel or face or however that works, you've seen him just go through these, you know, wars and things like that, and he's just earning battle scars and armor, man. And by the time, like, if anything, I was like, this is a good sign, because they were just getting that belt off Ospreay. You know what I mean? Like, they're sending him to the moon, man. He's gonna be the face. He's gonna be the new Kenny. He's gonna be like the guy for New Japan. They know what they've got, and he knows what he is and what he wants to be, and it's gonna be fucking killer, man. And if Ospreay had won, that meant it was just a one and done exhibition match, and there was nothing left in the tank. You know, putting it on Kenny is like, now we've set seeds for ongoing many more of these matches that are going to get more and more ridiculous. Like, this is the new Omega Okada. Like, this is the new rivalry that's going to pack houses and just do 20 million stars. Like, it's.
Meanwhile, you still have Ospreay and Okada
Yeah, as
You
well.
know, he still has to overcome that final boss as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like they're setting like this is Balrog and fucking Sagat and Vega before you actually get to M Bison. You know,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got all these tests to go through.
Mm-hmm.
The Lords of Shadaloo before you get to the mountaintop.
Yeah,
You know, and is he going to be Ryu
yeah.
and overcome all this, or is he going to be fucking Dan Hibiki and be like just a fucking joke?
Exactly.
Like,
I love this deep cut on fucking Street Fighter. But you're 100% correct. And New Japan, when it does its long-term storytelling, this is what makes long-term stories work, because the wrestlers have to go through crucibles. They have to achieve things. They have downtime and stuff. Because guess what? If he just fucking wins everything, then he's just like John Cena or fucking Roman Reigns when everybody fucking hates it. You know what I mean? Because they just win everything and there's nothing to overcome. It's a story, and it's not about being the winningest winner. It's about the journey and having it mean something. Everybody talks about, Daniel Bryan's, double title win is one of the best title wins of all time, right? And guess what? That's because he went through like so much to fucking get there and overcame so much that it meant a lot when it happens. If he just fucking wins straight away, then it's a thing. So, and also they know as well that they're rehabilitating him and building him, you know what I mean? There was a time when everybody thought he was a fucking dickhead and that he had, bad publicity on the internet and stuff like that. And so they've built a faction around him, and they're just slowly building stuff. Like, they're gonna continue to do it. And at the moment, he's sort of in this like aggressive, pouty, I fucking blew it sort of phase. But if anything, this showed that like the fans are always ready at a moment's notice to be behind him. You know what I mean? The second he came into that clearly as the phase and didn't give up. You know what I mean? Until he was dead, and that it like spits in fucking Omega's face before he dies. And so here we go. Let's see where it goes and go on the ride, because I have faith that they're gonna deliver. And those two, I said to Damien, I'm like, these two fucking psychos are gonna kill each other, because they're both like, that's how serious they take it. They'll put their bodies on the line. That, like, you saw Omega's fucking face. You saw both of their faces. They beat the ever living fuck out of each other. In a predetermined fucking play. Like, because they take it that serious. When I met Kenny Omega, like after that Wrestle Kingdom, and I'm like, and how you feeling today? And he was like, oh, took a few more years off my career, kind of thing. And he's like, it's all going to be worth it by the time I'm done. Like, that's his mindset. You know what I mean? And that's what you're going to see from Ospreay as well. Fucking nobody pushed themselves harder. I was going to say this year, but think about the year before that. Like, fucking Ospreay
basically
works
since
so
2019.
hard. Dude, like every tournament, fucking everything. He's working so hard. And that promo that Ospreay cut, like at the press conference beforehand, where Kenny's speaking in Japanese and fucking Don's doing all this, and then fucking Ospreay clears the table and is fucking nose to nose with Okada and swearing his head off. And some people would say like, oh, it's pretty, swearing just for swearing's sake. No, man, that was all emotion. That was him letting out his real feelings on the life he's lived and COVID times and flying back and forth, and like nobody gets it. Like, it's real, and that's why it rang true, because you can feel the honesty in his words. And as he continues to find that and show that, that's what makes a real wrestler. It's amazing.
Yep. It's so crazy how, like, people talk about Will's in-ring style changing, his body changing. The fact that right now he's fucking fantastic promo.
Yeah, as well. He's found his groove.
Bro.
Yeah, bruv. He's found it. Yeah.
I'm in awe of what they were able to achieve, man. It was so good. Like, I was ready. I was saying, like, shut it down. Just shut it down. Don't even bring out Okada right now.
I was like,
just
how can anybody fucking follow this? Like, and I'm surprised they didn't do some big angle or something like that, to have controversy at the end. They just went with the, like, happy ending, Inoki tribute sort of thing. And, I mean, that's a very New Japan thing to do as well. So I was kind of like, Amy was like, do you think there'll be something crazy? I'm like, yeah, but also maybe just no. Like, because that's like super New Japan. You just go, nah, don't worry about it.
It's the season finale, isn't
exactly.
it? Like, they're gonna, it may not be the climax of the show, but like this is how it ends, and here's the come down, and here's, we're all going home with a smile on our face. Season finale.
Even the challenge, just like a cheeky Shingo, just being like, hey, but what if I challenge you? Like, just being a fucking dorky, and like, even that was just ending. Like you said, season finale. Here we go. All wraps up, and everybody goes home happy. So,
it's so good.
Yeah, but I mean, we're skipping the match real quick. But what did you think of Okada Jay White? Because I mean, it was a lot to follow, and Jay was really like leaning into his like sort of obnoxious side real early in the match. Like, and it was interesting to see my wife's take, because she was like, why is he fucking being so annoying? Like, and for her, it was sort of getting a bit too, especially after the context of that last match, a bit like more like go away heat than I want to see him get his ass kicked heat. You know what I mean? She was like, this is just, I'm bored with this. And then, Okada starts to pick it up, and you get the stunning closing sequences like you always do, and it brings you back in. But yeah, he has really been leaning into that kind of like yelly sort of obnoxious thing. How did it all read for you?
So both the main event matches, Kenny Ospreay and Okada Jay White, both of them, as I was sitting down watching them, I was like, I don't think this is going to live up to expectation. This is good, but I don't know if it's going to get there. And I should have just fucking sat there and not thought that. I should have just sat back and let it wash over me, because I'm sitting there, I'm watching the Kenny Ospreay match, and I'm like, this is good. This is really good. It's not really hitting me yet. And by the end of it, I was on the edge of my fucking seat, like when you're in the movie theater and you're watching the explosions and the Avengers team up and stuff, and the portals open on your left, Cap, fucking everybody starts coming through, and you're just sure that's me. Handful of fucking nachos, fucking giant Pepsi in the other hand, and I'm just, go fucking get him, Will, get him. And like I was like coming down after that, and the thing is, the come down after that match directly into the first 10 minutes of an Okada championship title match. Ooh, buddy.
It's a Jay White match too. Like an obnoxious yelling type thing. Too. And you're like, yo, this is a long way to fall. This is a long way to fall.
Yeah. I thought they're going to kill this crowd. Because like the first 10 minutes of an Okada match, very slow, very paced. Like he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He's looking for something he can exploit. And here's Jay being a cheeky little git. Yeah. And he's like sitting on his butt so Okada can't hit him. And, he's,
I did like that bit when then Okada just square kicks him in the head. I thought that was
fucking fantastic. Yeah. So by the time they get to that, I'm like, yeah, fuck him up. Let's go. Come on. I'm just waiting for it. And then like, by the time it's over, I'm like, yeah, that was really fucking good too, man.
the faith they have, and also the fucking experience and faith that Okada has in his formula and the way he does things. It's like all that shit. He's like, chill, guys. I got it. Ending sequence is going to fucking do it. I know what I'm fucking doing.
Did you forget who I am?
I'm fucking Okada. The end of this match, I can guarantee you that everyone's going to have a good time. And they brought it back. Like, they absolutely brought it back. But you're right. That come down between the two was brutal. Almost to the point where I think they could have had a match in between the two. You know what I mean? Like, to just fucking ride you over a little bit. But that crushing low did lead to quite a big high towards the end. And they had some great false finishes too. He hits the Blade Runner on fucking Okada, And I was like, well, that's it, because nobody kicks out of the Blade
I thought
Runner.
that was all she wrote.
And then Okada kicks out, and I don't know if that's the first time anyone's ever kicked out of the Blade Runner. It might be. And I was like, yo, he fucking, like, I bid on it huge, because nobody kicks out of that move. They've protected it so well. The same as fucking Jay kicks out of the fucking Rainmaker, which nobody has done in a very long time. And you're like, fuck, like, what's going to happen? And then, it ends, and Jay's like a destroyed fucking kissy mess. Like, he's like just a ruined human at the end of it. So I haven't seen. What do you
think he said?
Yeah.
What do you think he said to Okada? Like, wrong answers only. What do you think he said? Hail Hydra.
I love you, man. Probably, like, fucking, you know what I mean. I haven't seen the post match comments from Jay yet. Is there a big promo that happened after that?
It's good. He blames Hikuleo. He's like, Hikuleo, you did this. You started this ball rolling because you chose your brother over Bullet Club, and all. Like, what? Like, motherfucker, really? Like, show your work.
I thought it was a bit of a leap, like at New Year's Dash. I didn't realize he was immediately talking about it after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which is strange. I mean, I get, like, New Japan, like, seeing stuff in Hikuleo, but he is far from ready in my eyes, like, to fucking even be in the conversation with these guys in work, in look, in anything. So that's super surprising to me to hear that he was immediately talking about him in his post-Wrestle Kingdom fucking press conference.
That's weird. It's fucking weird, eh?
They did the stuff with Carl Anderson, and then now with Jay White. Like, they really wanting to do something with this guy. And I'm like, I know why, but I'm not sure I see it yet. Like, they pulling the trigger too quick on this dude, or what are they doing?
I don't think they're pulling the trigger specifically. I think they're like just they're letting you know. They're putting their cards on the table and saying, this dude is going to be something. So we got to watch him.
Yeah. Okay.
Pay attention to Hikuleo.
Yeah. And then maybe, like I said, maybe that is leading to Tama and Jay again. You know what I mean? Like, definitely. I don't know, a bit of fantasy booking real quick. It's obviously loser leaves Japan. Everybody loves that. Everybody's going to talk about that. Oh, that means Jay's going to WWE. That means he's going to AEW. This is how they write him out of the show. I mean, more likely, there's probably two options here. One, he just fucking wins and sends Hikuleo back to strong. You know what I mean? Because guess what? It's wrestling. It's not a real law-abiding contract, and he will be able to return at some point. You know what I mean? He just turns up one day, and they're like, he's back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. So they go, you're fucking kicked out of Japan. Give Hikuleo something to do. He's just on strong, and he starts to dominate it. He's got a fire under himself. He's fucking, banned from Japan and wronged by the ex-champion, and he's got a grudge on his shoulder and something to do with him, because at the moment he doesn't really have much character. And then Jay White continues on what he is. Or Jay loses, and then he's doing that. You know what I mean? He's doing AEW dates. He's doing strong, and he's fucking pissed off. Bullet Club want nothing to do with him because he's a fucking loser, and so begins, the Jay White sort of face turn to eventually return to Japan as like the shining knight, So either way, it gives you something you can do there. Or it could be to write him out of the company, or either of them. But I feel
let's wait for New Year's Dash before we talk too much about
exactly. I'm already on one about it. Because it was a natural transition. But either way, I think if we just wrap up our thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom, really enjoyed it. It was a huge return to form from a Wrestle Kingdom. I think every match was really enjoyable, and I just had like an absolute great time watching it. Would have had a better time had my day not been fucked and I was able to just watch it from start to finish and enjoy it like I intended. But I still had a great time, and man, that Ospreay and Okada match was something. Ospreay and Omega match was something else.
It was something, man. Mm-hmm. Is New Japan back? New
Japan never left. Just depends on if the interest outside of Japan, is there? And I think it is, and I think they're getting past all the restrictions and all those things, and they've even got their whole commentary team back. And we didn't talk about that at the start.
What up, Gino?
Gino is back, which was awesome. The banter between these three guys, like, you can tell they legitimately like working together, and it just added like another air of freshness and fun to the commentary as well. Like, just the whole thing just feels like they're getting it going again, and they're heading for the heights that they once had before Corona and before AEW.
It's so crazy. Like, this is what we were talking about when we started recording. Like, we were talking for a while, talking about comic books, talking about nerd stuff, and then like we started talking about Gino Gambino specifically and how glad we were to see him back.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, turn it on. We got shit to say.
Yeah, we got
shit. Like,
we'll cut a promo about Gino for 15 minutes before we even turned on the mics.
Yeah, Chris by himself is good. Kevin by himself is good. Kevin and Chris together is good. So it's like Chris is peanut butter, Kevin is chocolate. Like, peanut butter is good, chocolate is good. Peanut butter and chocolate is good. But like, Gino is like he's the marshmallow or something. I don't know. Like, marshmallow. Gino, I don't mean to call you a marshmallow. That we won't take that. But like,
let's go with jelly. Does jelly work with peanut butter? I don't know. Either way, there's an analogy here, and you know what we're trying to say.
We're gonna workshop this. And we'll find out.
Should have done it before we went on air.
Should have. God damn it! Why did I get ahead of myself? I love this.
Yeah,
I love it. Mm-hmm. You need all three of these things to make s'mores. You need chocolate and graham crackers and marshmallows. And I'm so glad Gino's back. I want to see Gino do more on the next tour of Tamashii. I would love to have Gino on, like, talking about the Australian wrestling scene specifically as the announcers on Tamashii.
Yeah,
so
I think that would be awesome, because he obviously has such a long-running history in Australia, knows the scene in and out, knows the New Japan scene in and out, and would be a great person to take point on something like that. I would absolutely love to see as much of Gino as we can now that the world's opening back up, and he can to and from Japan, and then also do the Tamashii shows and the Wagga Wagga Oceania Cup and all that kind of stuff. So maybe we'll even see Kevin Kelly over here for those. That would be awesome.
Wagga Wagga.
Wagga Wagga.
Wagga Wagga. Wagga Wagga. Whatever it is, we love you, Gino. We're fucking amped to see you back, big dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about New Year Dash 2023.
Before we start that New Year's Dash stuff, I just wanted to say two things that I remembered real quick. One is the Amy 180 is well documented, and there was a funny turn of events where Amy was like, I don't even care that Kenny's come back. There's a whole thing where Amy and Mo were like, who? Like, they pretend to not even know him because they felt so betrayed when he left New Japan. And then he came back, and she was like, I'm 180 back on Kenny, this entrance, the hair, everything, 100% back on Kenny Omega, Kenny for the win, then Ospreay's entrance, and she's like 180 back to Ospreay. She was spinning around in circles like crazy for this, which was the power of this match. So that was a funny anecdote I should have told you when it happened. And the other thing is, my friend Alex from Vinyls and Violence, shout out Alex, was messaging me to be like, hey, me and my friends might go to Wrestle Kingdom next year and stuff like that. And, like, they are not really New Japan fans historically, but, like, got so hyped in this event and stuff. They've been talking about it. He recently, the only show of ours he had listened to was the last one we did, the end of year Endgame. And he's like, I don't even know any of these people. And I had heaps of fun with, like, your guys' fantasy booking that stuff. And then now he's watching some New Japan as well. So that's the power of the New Japan stuff and of the shorts. Mm-hmm.
Do you hear that, Obari? You hear that?
Book us. Well, get us to do the booking.
Yeah, well, us and Thanos, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll work on that. So we'll see what we can do. But either way, so some fun bits before we jump into New Year's Dash.
I think the Amy 720 is now the It's the nomenclature.
just spinning around like a top. Exactly. She loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, man, I was 100% Will all the way on that one. I can't with Kenny, dude. I don't know what it is.
Can with Kenny, like he has been, I know he's been my favorite wrestler or one of my favorite wrestlers for a very long time. And when I first got into New Japan, huge into him. And so like I don't know, when somebody sort of reaches those heights with me and puts up that work, I never really sort of like give up on them, I guess. Like I always had a very soft spot for him. And even when there was stuff that I wasn't really into, I'm always like, buddy gave me all this, so I'm always going to be into it. Plus, you know, I've met him a couple of times and he was like so nice that I know this person's a really good person. He's one of the hardest working dudes in wrestling and he's been super injured and he's always going to try his hardest. And then to see him come back and him in New Japan, the presentation versus like, you know, AEW and everything like that, he's just fucking it for me in New Japan. I absolutely love to see it. But the cool thing about this match was it definitely structured in a way that by the end I was one will to win, and I definitely wasn't sad that Kenny won, but it was a really, really good fucking match.
It was so good. And I it's funny because I always say like, fuck Kenny, I don't like Kenny. And then I'm like, this dude's been in two of my favorite matches of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he's
fucking awesome, dude.
Begrudgingly.
Like,
I will never like put down his work ethic. Mm-hmm. I will never put down his in-ring ability. I will never put down his willingness to go the extra mile. Mm-hmm. I hate his face.
I like his. I love his funny reactions, like his facial reactions in this match, like fucking when he puts like fucking the hole in the door and then he comes up through it, like fucking Jack Nicholson, have me fucking laughing when fucking Will's kicking out of shit and he's just like got this insane. I just fucking I'm so entertained by all the shit he does, man. When I think back to some of like the super funny gifs and shit, when you know. Press conferences before G1 and stuff, and he's in the background and his faces and he's doing like the thumbs and stuff like that. He's really entertaining and he's always trying to entertain, you know? And for some people, they don't like that sort of goofy side of him, and I understand why, but it never bothers me, and sometimes it actively makes me laugh, you know what I mean? So I think he's, one of the best to ever do it and will probably go down in history as one of, if not the best to ever do it.
You're 100% right. The dude is fucking magical.
He's
something about him.
His like size and body and shape, like he's just built to be a pro wrestler, you know, and like nobody, I mean, with the exception of maybe Will, but even then, like there's like an explosiveness and a lightness to Kenny, you know, like the way he moves, the way he bounces in the ring, the way he leaps, like his feet and like the way he moves, that like you're like, how is a guy this big, this athletic, like this light on his feet, this fast, this explosive? Like it's really, really impressive. Like he's just built for it, man. And he won't be one of those guys that like you see fucking wrestling past their prime or too old or whatever. He'll do it as long as he can do it at like the highest possible level, and he'll probably just retire, you know? Like, I don't think you'll ever sort of see him not, I mean, I might be proven wrong, but I don't think you'll ever see him not performing if he can't do it, you know, at that level.
It's a mighty fine fucking level, man. It's a high bar.
Yeah, exactly. That was
you get out of bed the wrong way one day, and all of a sudden you're just like, well, I guess I got to retire.
Yeah, I mean, the way he approaches it, like I said, that conversation I had with him, and like at the Howming store just one time in passing, like it gave me an insight into his mindset. You know, how he approaches this. Like there are people that look at it like, you know, it's a performance and a work, and I'm not, you know, working too hard and not kill myself or whatever. He views it like an athletic contest, and he's definitely investing his own body and ongoing health in hitting a bar that not many people can hit. and then that'll be it, you know. And like, look how long he just took off, like surgeries and things like that. Like, that's what it takes to fucking perform at that level, to take pro wrestling to that level, you know.
And it's, like I said, the highest level I can possibly think of.
Yeah,
two of my favorite matches of all time.
There's not much more beyond that, you know. I don't see, where else it goes from there, physically, you know, unless people learn to fly or some shit. I don't know. and him and Ospreay are about as close as you get to that. Can we just talking about? We completely derailed it, but the fucking DDT off the top onto the exposed turnbuckle, bro.
Oh man,
gruesome.
God damn it, that could have gone so fucking badly.
But you know what? It's fucking Ospreay and Omega, so it wasn't. It was going to be perfect.
No.
And the only time it won't be perfect is when one of them fucking dies. Like, but
yeah,
they were the two guys.
And Ospreay's got a slinky for a spine, and he just
there
falls.
Were certain lands that I'm like, if that was anybody but Ospreay taking that move, they'd be dead. Like, is how it felt, you know. Like, that's the level that those two work at. Like,
again, Will's the best in the fucking world. Like, that's just all there is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the best going right now. I mean, like, I'm not going to poo-poo on Kenny. I'm not going to poo-poo on Okada. Like, I love Okada with all my heart and soul. Will's the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a huge decision to make, you know, between them. There's a cluster of people that I hold kind of in there, but that's in the conversation, right? Like, you wonder whether, because Will, in a way, is only just getting started at the level that Kenny was at when he did his best shit. You know what I mean? Like, and Kenny is at his peak now after everything he's been through. You'd say he's at his peak, where Ospreay's probably still yet to hit it. And that's the scary fucking thing about Ospreay, is that, like, you know, at this stage, if he continues on the track he is, and knock on wood, you know, injuries and things like that, if he continues on the track he's on, there's greater heights to come from him.
That's fucking silly.
It's scary.
That's fucking silly.
It's scary. I wonder what opponents, I mean, Omega and him have obviously got more to put down, and that there'll be bigger matches and things like that. I wonder what other opponents in the world can push him to that level.
I'm sure we could get, you know, something out of Bryan Danielson. That would be something that could push him to that level. Yeah.
Just a very different style of match, though, right? Like,
it is a very different style of match.
I'm talking about, like, Will style, that, like, new age hybrid, fast flying, crazy Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay style. Who else in the world could do that besides the two of them? You know?
Ooh, Phoenix.
Yeah,
maybe?
Phoenix is a good choice.
I would say Vikingo, El Hijo de Vikingo, but, like, I don't think Vikingo's got the fucking the strength to stand up with Will.
What about Bandito?
Bandito would be really fucking fun to watch, man. Bandito's something special.
But see, it's like, then with the Bandito and stuff like that, athleticism is there, and even a Vikingo, but not the storytelling of, like, a Kenny Omega. You know, like, that's the thing, right? Because a big part of what made this match so great was also the heat you felt going into it. The exchanges on Twitter calling each other fucking cunts for years. You know, then the Kenny Omega promo in Japanese and the smugness, and then Ospreay's fucking pure outrage and jumping the table and fucking nose to nose with him, and the smirk on Kenny's face. Like, you just wanted to see it slapped off his face. You know, you talk about hating his face, like, that they lent into that, you know. And so it's like, what other... There's definitely other matches that can deliver. Like, did we just see the peak of pro wrestling? Like, physically and story, like, together all in one. Because even Okada and Omega, fuck it. I mean, they're amazing matches. But the story doesn't quite hit the same, just in the way that Okada's never really rattled. You know, he's not really an emotional type. Like, he's got a smug look on his face, and I'll meet you there, and then he'll deliver like the best match ever. But Will was just fucking raging, you know. And
well, let's see when Will finally beats Okada, if he can get there, because they've got a way deeper history, and the story has been like, you can't beat Okada. Like, you can cheat and have, you know, Okan come back and you know, win for you, but you can't beat Okada. And maybe that story is going to be, you know, this was my big brother for years. I outgrew my station, and I went and started my own faction, and I'm the leader now, and I still can't fucking beat him. And like I said, I think he's got to run through these mini bosses. He's got to beat fucking Sagat, and then he's going to move on to M. Bison.
And that's it.
Who is Okada for him?
When he beats Omega, that's like he's beating Okada's main nemesis. You know, like the guy that beat Okada, the guy that gave him all that trouble. When Ospreay beats him, he's like, I beat Kenny. You had way more trouble with him than I did. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mm-hmm. It could be, man. Like, I think by the time that the Will Ospreay story has been, because like I think the Okada Kenny story it's written, it's done. After what we saw today or yesterday for you, I believe that's in the past. It's all gone. There is no more. There's no Okada Omega 4. You know, or well, I guess there already was an Okada Omega 4. That was the one where, but you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. That them teaming together. I mean, maybe we'll just run through New Year's Dash or whatever, but and talk about this at the end. But them teaming together felt like a full stop on their animosities.
Yeah,
probably forever, or at least for now. You know, but I mean, how much time does Omega have left? You know, like so. It felt like the full stop on that, like the final chapter, really did feel like the season end at Wrestle Kingdom, and then the beginning of a new chapter at New Year's Dash, and that felt like the animosities have ceased here. Ospreay is the new nemesis, probably going forward for Omega, and we're going to move on to bigger and better things, and Omega and Okada have reached an understanding and a mutual respect.
Yep. And by the time Ospreay's story is done, you know, he's beaten Omega, he's moved on, he's finally beaten Okada, he's on top of the mountain, he's got that, you know, Super Sentai belt, and we can look back and we can say which match was the best, you know, which match was the best storytelling, which match was the best physically, which match of, you know, who was the better opponent for him, who did he tell better stories with, you know, and you're going to look back at a spoil of riches, and you're going to say, oh gee, I really liked Okada versus Ospreay 2, you know, or their G1 match, or you're going to say, I really liked their Wrestle Kingdom match. You're going to say, I really liked, you know, Omega Ospreay 1 from Wrestle Kingdom. Oh, I really liked Omega Ospreay 2 from Forbidden Door 2 or whatever. You're going to say like all these, and you're going to just go like, man, I'm going to take a weekend and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this whole story. I'm going to hit every big fucking match along the way. You're going to fire up New Japan World, and you're just going to fucking let it wash over you.
Yeah. And it's
you're just going to let it do its thing.
For me as well, and it's kind of the vibe of this podcast, but it's all about like how it affects me and the emotions and everything leading into it and the time I watch it and stuff. Like I said, the Dominion draw has been my favorite match for a very long time. And that was based around how it made me feel, because I was on the edge of my seat, not knowing how, like, I'm like, how's he going to get it done? You know, there's barely any time left on the clock. And then when he just doesn't, I was floored, you know, I was like, oh, fuck. And like, and that left me shook. Did this match unseat that as my favorite match? I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, don't give into Don't give in to recency bias because
yeah,
you know
exactly.
you gotta
I don't
see.
think so. Just because the draw thing was like the first time I'd ever seen that too, but this is like right there in that, just like the return of Kenny, and like just it done at its peak. So it's like 1A and 1B. You know, like I really enjoyed it, and it's also like a match is more than just the sum of its parts too, because like I said, it's the promos, it's the build, it's all of that stuff, and how you feel in the moment. You know, it's hard to go back and watch it and feel the same way.
And the thing is, like, they may have more to give. This may not even be the best match they ever have.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the Dominion draw, which is my favorite of the Okada Omegas as well. Like, that was their second match. Yeah. They had two more after this, and like, you know, Meltzer called their fourth meeting, the best match he's ever seen. That was the big 7-star
I don't even remember it. Like, because I mean, I'm not great at recalling matches, and I don't like to rewatch like a lot of stuff, but I don't remember that one as well as I remember the draw. You know, I remember the first one really well. You know, Terminator Kenny Dome. That was kind of my first like big Wrestle Kingdom main event where I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And then that Dominion draw, by then I was very invested. And so yeah, this is just the beginning, and you'd have to be thinking as well, they always, you know, leave something in the chamber and stuff. I'm sure Ospreay and Omega have plenty of ideas for what they would do together.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, let's start running through.
I fucking immediately derailed us the second we got back on.
Vibes. Yeah, we're vibing.
That's it. You got to vibe.
We're vibing.
You got to vibe it.
And so let's go on to vibe with New Year's Dash 2023. The first match, and the no card announced ahead of time. You know, evidently Kevin Kelly and the rest of the guys didn't know who was coming out at any given time.
Neither did the sound guy or the lighting guy, apparently.
That was not fun. So the first match, House of Torture, Dick Togo, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil defeating Tomoaki Hanma, Tiger Mask, and Ren Narita. After the match, House of Torture continues to attack Ren Narita, and Minoru Suzuki and El Desperado make the save. They run off the bad guys, and Ren leaves. After a little bit of goading, Ren leaves with Suzuki and El Desperado.
And it's important to note as well, they didn't rescue him together. It's sort of Suzuki hits the ring first, and then Despy hits the ring. So it's not like it's a pre-planned sort of thing. It's just in the moment, they're all kind of looking at each other like, hey, maybe there's something here. So whether it's just Never Trio's title, or maybe we're seeing the beginnings of a new faction, I'm here for it. I'm very interested.
I kind of felt a little bit betrayed with the fact that they broke up Suzuki-gun to instantly just put, and we'll talk about this in a bit, put 4 of them in the same exact group. And then a couple of the other ones broke off, and they're doing Suzuki-gun. Like I said, Suzuki-gun by any other name, it's still fucking Suzuki-gun. And it's not, it hasn't been 3 weeks since Suzuki-gun officially broke up.
Well, you said it well, Suzuki-gun by any other name. I touched on it before. I truly believe the whole point of breaking it up wasn't because Suzuki's retiring. He's made that very clear. It's just about New Japan owning the stable. They did not own Suzuki-gun. He sells all the merch at his own fucking store. He had a piece of that pie, a very big piece, I believe. And I think they were just like, okay, well, let's do a bit of a shuffle. I think we want to see Zack with his own faction, Tai Chi with his own faction, and Desperado and Suzuki out here doing something else. Let's call it that. This is why they didn't have a big angle or a breakup. We'll rebadge everybody. Let's get that merch money rolling in from these factions. Like, I think it was purely that decision that led to it. Because Suzuki don't look like he's slowing down for nobody. I mean, they fucking disband, and he immediately calls out the IWGP title. Like that's the most Suzuki shit ever. Like, we're going to wind it down now, guys, after I win the fucking title. And it's like, oh, shit, you know? Like,
can you imagine Suzuki with that fucking belt?
I want it. I want to fucking
Really?
I want
With
to
that
fucking
fucking title, I
manifest it.
can.
Yes, I want to manifest it fucking in my fucking soul. And he's got fucking Narita and fucking Despy backing him up. He fucking disbanded Suzuki Gun. They weren't quite getting it done. He's doing his own thing. I love it. It's awesome.
Just that belt does not fit his fucking
No, but that belt doesn't fit
aesthetic.
fucking anybody. The belt sucks, but it's just the way it
That
is.
belt looks good. It looks good on Will. It looks good on Ibushi.
It does. It looks good on Okada.
It looks good on Okada. It looked fine on Shingo.
I mean, it looks okay on everybody, but it's still just like I was watching memories of our first Wrestle Kingdom. It come up on Facebook, and the first one, our main event that we saw was Okada versus Naito, the first kind of big Wrestle Kingdom one, and we were like right against the ramp. So the stage is there, our backs were like against the railing, and then like the stage is there and all the flames. So we're right there. And bro, I was watching the Okada entrance again, and you know the video flashes up, and you see the V4 belt like around his fucking waist on the the promo video, ching, coin, but coat, V4 belt, and I was like, that was the best fucking belt in the world, and I'm so fucking pissed off that it doesn't exist anymore. It was the coolest looking belt in the world, and they fucked it off. So like, what can you do? What can you do?
This is old hat.
We're not going to do it, but it raged me all over again. So Suzuki looking stupid with it is the same as everybody looking stupid with it, because it is stupid.
Fair enough. So Ren Narita, El Desperado, and Suzuki. This has got to be a 6-man title challenge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think so.
Cool.
And hopefully, like I said, the beginning of a new sort of team there. And because Ren's not fighting as a junior, so like,
no.
And Desperado's as big as him, like, so yeah, maybe Desperado not winning, maybe it's the beginning of something. Maybe we see some tag stuff with both of them in like heavy stuff or whatever. I don't know, but either way, it's interesting thinking of a new age Shibata with Suzuki and El Desperado. I like it.
Love it. All right, next match. Taka Michinoku comes out and he says that Doki, Taichi, and Kanemaru and he are just 4 guys.
Yeah, no bosses, just 4 guys. But he says it in the way like just 4 guys is the name of the group. I don't know if that would be. Maybe there's something lost in translation that means like just 4 guys. If it is just 4 guys, the meme world that loves Tai Chi and everything will love it. I saw somebody tweet on Twitter, and I'm sorry, I don't know your handle if you listen to this, but he was like, I'm all ready to lay down my life for J4G.
the grinder handle, J4G. Oh man. But when it's 3 of them in a match, is it just 3 guys?
Oh, well, he was still there. It was on the side.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought it was an interesting choice to. So Will, is arguably the big face coming out of that match. They have him come out with Catch 2-2 to be like, fight the newly debuting just 4 guys. Taichi and everybody, very lovable. They've got a lot of goodwill right now. And then they kind of immediately sort of place him in like an aggressive heel sort of mode. And I thought that was interesting because he'd built up like a lot of, goodwill. But at the end, he's sort of squabbling with Tai Chi and stuff. But it's like everybody likes Tai Chi. I don't know if that's who I would have positioned him against. But yeah.
I feel like they're telling a story where Will's kind of lost his mojo a little bit. Maybe kind of like where Jay was a couple of years ago, that sort of thing. Like he came out and he wasn't cocky, he wasn't brash, he wasn't arrogant, he was just kind of humbled, and then he got pissed. And an angry Will Ospreay is a very, very dangerous thing, and I like that a lot. I'm kind of sad that Taichi was on the receiving end of that. It got me thinking that I don't like the spot where Taichi's at. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, they're burying him, but like this story, Taichi's story that's happening right now, it's at a very low point, and I want to see him go up from here, because it really just seems like they broke him away from Suzuki-gun, for whatever reason, put him in a lesser than version of Suzuki-gun, and like the name Just Four Guys, that is so unimaginative.
They haven't announced that that's the official name though. It was just his cadence. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's Twitter and stuff running away with it. You know what I mean? Because he didn't announce like a full name. If their faction was called Just Four Guys, that's lost. Like we're fucking lost at that point. That said, though, I'm sure if it is, Twitter will get behind them like never before, and it'll probably be the most popular faction in New Japan because it's just so fucking stupid. Though Taichi, I was a little bit disappointed when I saw him come out with Taka in the suit. I was like, okay, he's gonna get the mic now, and like Taka's like his Don King, and he's just on his own or whatever. You know, like when ZSJ was like submission master. He is like I thought it was going to be. Tap out. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like hyping Taichi, and then when the others come out and they're like, "We're just four dudes that hang out together and are a faction," I was a little bit disappointed because I really thought it should be very clear that Taichi is the ace of that faction, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it really just seems like they don't know what to do with him right now, and they might have a plan. This might go somewhere. I'm not going to say it's a complete loss at the moment. I'm going to say that I am feeling very sad about what's going on with Taichi at the moment, and I want to see him succeed. Yeah. I want to see him become something more than just a guy.
Yeah, just one of four guys. Also,
25% of a faction.
Yeah, I also think we could all agree that Doki needs to pop that top off. We've talked about that. Concurso runner-up winner.
Get him out, Doki.
Still coming out with the tank top. Pop it off. Show the team. All six of them. Just 6 abs. Fucking the Doki story.
It's already getting me. We're already starting.
Yeah.
We're already starting.
But yeah, we will see. We will see where it goes. So, yeah.
Oh, look at Mochi.
She's up in my business. Just
for anyone who can't hear, Rafe is currently being attacked by a cloud named Mochi.
Yeah, she's trying to bite the zip off my New Japan jacket. She loves zips and likes to destroy them. You can't go.
So after the match, there's a brawl between the United Empire and Just Four Guys. Will Ospreay ends up kicking Taka Michinoku in the dick, which popped me. And then I'm pretty sure Francesco Akira and TJP have lined up Doki and Kanemaru as their next opponents.
Didn't Doki
which also
pin
popped
them?
me.
Yeah, like Doki fucking pinned fucking one of those guys, right?
He pinned. Was it TJP?
It's one of them. Either way, he pinned someone.
It's one of them.
I think it was TJP. And yeah, he sorry, I'm being attacked. So they're the next challengers, which is interesting. And,
I love it.
And I like that Taichi wasn't sweating Will. Like, he was just laughing in his face. Will was so angry, and he just had this, like, smirk on his face, like, whatever, bitch. I did enjoy that. And his new emo fringe as well. The blonde is gone. We've got a now black-fringed, more serious Taichi.
I wish if they were going to have a more serious Taichi, they could have like changed up his look a little bit. He's still got that same businessman suit from the G1.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see him come out and be like, this is a new chapter for me.
Same.
And it can be little bit different. Because Taka came out very different. Taka came out with like the Louis Vuitton scarves and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, that was cool.
And his hair spiked directly upwards. Like I said, like a Don King kind of look.
Fucking heeliest haircut.
Yeah.
Doki came out wearing his old like purple colors. He's not wearing the gold anymore for Suzuki-gun. Kanemaru came out a little bit more cash than normal. So like everybody else has changed, and Taichi's just wearing the same shit as he had on 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just really feels like Taichi got like hit hardest with this. Like Suzuki and Despy are already off onto good things. Zach's already off onto good things. Everybody else is, we're seeing where we fit in. Taichi's, I don't know, man.
A little bit lost. Lonely Gun.
Lonely Gun. Lonely Gun. Except that he has just 3 friends.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's better than having just 0 friends.
That's true. Okay. Next up, Zack Sabre Jr., Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, collectively known as the Mighty Don't Kneel, TMDK, defeat Bishamon and Tomohiro Ishii. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This was so much fun.
I love them as the new challengers. And when they were holding up the belts and fucking Zack had the belt, I'm like, that's it. Just put all the belts on TMDK. I got no problem with it.
Put all the gold on TMDK. Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols challenge Bishamon. And then we have the New Japan World TV title, the Youth Revolution of Zack Sabre Jr. and checks notes, Tomohiro Ishii.
That's it.
Wasn't this belt supposed to be about a youth revolution?
Yeah. Well, I would say that like Ishii was in the tournament, right? And got knocked out. So, and if you're going to put up a fucking banger 15-minute match on the old YouTubes, Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. is a good one to just get in there and pop out. That's going to be awesome.
People fucking love Ishii, man. They fucking love him.
Yeah.
And those two have had some bangers in the past.
Yeah. Can we also talk about at the very end where they're like sitting on the ring and Zack's like, we need another guy or whatever. And he's like, fucking, where is he? And he just goes and gets Vegeta, who I fucking talked about in last episode. And it's just like, You're now a member of TMDK. And like the commentary are like, what the fuck is happening? He's a young lion. He can't just be in a stable. And then they're just like, and you're in. And he's stoked and fucking new son and another adopted citizen of Perth.
That's right.
He's like,
Jose Fujita, citizen of Perth, living in the 6,000.
Yeah, exactly. Living in my house. Did you also like that fucking, he's like, that's right. I got my own young boy. Up yours, John Moxley. Like fucking on his way out the door.
I loved that Oiwa was just like, motherfucker.
He was like, what the fuck about me? I helped too. Like,
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love Fujita. Like, I know Oiwa's like the handsome guy and things like that. Dude, I love Fujita.
Yeah.
Like that's my young lion.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's Zach's young lion. I love it. He's like, this is my fucking mate. Like he just like puts him in the shirt and they just fucking disrobe him. They pull his shirt off. He's got no choice. They just shove it on him and he's just like, yeah. And they're like, you're fucking part of it now. And he's like, all right.
They're like sexually harassing him in the ring too. Just they were like, don't touch his butt.
Yeah.
Don't touch him.
But that's never happened before. And again, that speaks to what we were saying at the start where they're elevating young lions quicker. Like,
yep.
And so does that mean he's still a young lion, he's just theirs that they own, or is he now graduated?
He's Zach's young boy. I don't think he's graduated.
Yeah.
I think he's still technically a young lion, but he's going to be like their young lion.
Yeah. Kind of like Shooter was John Moxley's young lion. Like a young lion in a bigger spot, doing stuff, having character development and stuff before he goes on excursion or whatever.
Right.
And what better way to have a guy start to learn faster than like putting him directly with a faction, like.
Well, we saw what happened with Shooter. We saw how putting him with Moxley. Yeah, he was Moxley's pin eaters because they couldn't have Moxley losing every tag match he was in, but it allowed him to get the rub. He's now using Moxley's finishing move.
Uses his entrance.
Uses his entrance. Like today in their match, he came out of the crowd, at Ota City War Gymnasium.
Yeah.
And he's still got the leather jacket. Goddamn it, he
Death
won't wear
Rider,
it, but he still
on
carries
his
it
knee
around.
pad even. Yeah, he's even got Death Rider and Roughneck on both his knee pads. Like, yeah, it gave him. We waxed lyrical about it in a previous episode that it gave him an identity before he could even have an identity, and that is what they're doing for Vegeta now. They're like, that worked. Let's do it again. Like, and so I think it's going to be really interesting.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I am so amped on this. I was talking with Josh from We Work Stiff, and we were just fangirling over this decision. Like, Love it.
Yeah. And
Top
like you
top
say,
of my head to the bottom of my toes, I fucking love this decision.
it's so good. And like you said, a pin eater too for the stable. You want to keep TMDK really strong. You want to keep Zach really strong. If they're in an 8-man tag, you've got a guy there ready to lose, and you don't have to have like Mikey or Shane or whoever take the pin. You've just got a little loser that you can throw to the wolves, like when you need to.
And now we bring back Tito, and we get Tito in on the Never title.
Yeah, there you go.
Tito versus Tama.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. And let's start I would love to start to see some of the other Team DK members as well. Let's get
No. I've got a better idea. Mm-hmm. Tito stays. Tito goes back to strong. Tito becomes a strong champion. Mm-hmm. Tito beats fucking Fred Rosser and becomes the strong champion and holds down the whole fucking brand.
Yeah, there you go. I fucking got no problem with that. That's good. Then when he comes over, Team DK holding all that gold.
Oh, I just got a shiver.
It's hot.
Very exciting.
I love it.
All right. So next up, Yo, Taguchi, Togi Makabe, and Shota Umino. Togi Makabe working 2 days in a row. Defeated LIJ. That's Naito, Hiromu, Bushi, and Sanada. This was a match. My wife was excited because she actually woke up right as this match was getting started, and she loves Taguchi, so she kind of just like coming out of her slumber, and she looks over and she's like, "Funky weapon."
She's like,
"Yeah." She goes, "Fuck yeah."
Taguchi's playing fucking air keyboard, fucking air guitar to Naito's entrance.
So good.
Where he got that inflatable keyboard from, I never know. He had like a little head mic as well that wasn't plugged in. Like Umino's like holding it, like it's not even doing anything, and he's just like. It was fucking so funny. And then like he plays the hits, man. Like I was laughing because every time he gets up on the turnbuckle for the butt thing, he does it every time with LIJ. It immediately fails. Then he thinks he's done it, and then he turns around and then they're there, and then he's like all shocked that they're thing, and then he tries to join LIJ, and they're like, yeah, and then they kick the shit out of him. Like they do the same thing every single time, and it pops me every single time. It's like one of those jokes that like the more times you do it, you're like, yeah, he's still doing it, and that's really funny.
Yeah.
He's like, this time it's gonna work for sure.
So yeah, so he starts doing the butt thing, and he's coming down. He sees LIJ go, Taguchi's in trouble, and my wife goes, "Why was his math lecture canceled? Like, did the class he was going to teach about science get canceled?" He looks like a social studies teacher.
Yeah, he's the coach.
I love it. I love him so much. Taguchi, you fucking fantastic.
But yeah, it's clear that Umino is heading towards Naito, which is going to be a great first rivalry for him, and Naito's going to make him look like $1 trillion.
And Yo, going straight for the belt. He's coming for Hiromu's title. Is this, when you saw those 4 men at Wrestle Kingdom, did you know that the next night you were going to be promised Yo versus Hiromu? And how would you have felt? How would you have felt knowing that was what was coming out of that?
I mean, not great, I'd have to say. And I wonder whether, this is the beginning of the Leo thing, right? Because, like, look at it from Leo Rush's point of view. So he's given up everything. He's come to Japan to help his friend Yo. They've gone through the Super Junior tag together. He's sacrificed all that time away from his family. Then they've failed at Wrestle Kingdom. Fuck, we've failed. I'm so injured. This is absolutely shit. I'm not booked on New Year's Dash. Oh, here's Yo pinning the champion, and he's already forgotten about me and is on to bigger and better things while I'm fucking in the hospital getting my face put back together. Do I enjoy that? Am I happy for my friend, or am I maybe feeling a little bit slighted that he should have been fucking sitting in the waiting room waiting for me instead of trying to get a title shot for himself? You know what I mean? Like,
ooh,
just saying.
I like that. I like where your head's at right now.
So yeah,
does
the opportunity for him to be the champion get ruined by Leo, or does he win and immediately, get attacked?
Get challenged by Leo? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a thing. We never know We never know who we need to look out for, because sometimes you need to look out for those friends that you're not really friends with.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to look out for threats from other places, like the internet. You ever had a threat come from the internet?
Every day of my life, poor takes on fucking wrestling Facebook of people thinking they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well,
does it
I
block
can't help
that?
you
Does
with
it
that.
block stupidity?
It doesn't block stupidity.
Short-sightedness? Does it block that?
It blocks the smart people, though, that are coming for your credit card information, that are coming for your evil smart. Yeah. Bad men with brains and computers and computer brains. And they're coming for your personal information. They're coming for your card numbers. They're coming for your social security numbers. They're coming for your bank accounts. And the only way to stop them is to get NordVPN, a security package that we here at the Okada Shorts program can give you an exclusive deal for. So you grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/shorts. That's right. To get a huge discount off of your NordVPN plan plus one additional month for free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. What that's going to get you is security and peace of mind.
POM.
That's right. It can't make sure that your friends don't turn on you, like wrestlers do, but it can make sure that those people that are coming for your personal information, that they get turned away.
That's what's important. You can't stop a run-in a wrestling ring. That's going to happen. You just got to have your head on a swivel. But you can have one less thing that you need to swivel towards, knowing that your devices are protected.
That's right.
Plus,
when NordVPN is in your stable.
There you go. I love where you're going with this. Exactly. Who needs to just be just 4 guys? It can be just you and NordVPN, just 2 guys. Nord being the other guy.
And your personal information and your safety and NordVPN.
So it is 4 guys. So it's 4 guys.
I guess it's still 4 guys.
So it's still 4 guys. So just 4 guys, you, all those things, VPN, that's all you need to be safe on the internet. And also, the security's the bonus in this. Let's not even talk about accessing sites from around the world, getting to browse willy-nilly. I'm going to throw myself to America and check out that streaming service real quick. I'm going to take a peek into Japan and, subscribe to their streaming services. You can do it all because it just picks up your internet and drops it wherever you want. So do yourself a favor, protect yourself, add the ultimate member to your stable, and add NordVPN.
NordVPN.
Absolutely.
Right.
And what's that code one more time?
NordVPN.com/shorts.
Shorts. Exactly right.
Shorts.
That was a very, very good segue, Curtis.
I was hoping you were going to enjoy that. So let's get to Bullet Club, Jay White, Taiji Shimori, El Phantasmo, and Kenta being defeated by Hiroshi Tanahashi, your girlfriend, Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, and Master Hato. Now, there's going to be a lot coming out of this, so I wanted to get our friends NordVPN their time. Not to just throw them in at the end of the show. I wanted to give them their time to really marinate, because we're going to talk about this. Bullet Club at the end of the match ends early due to a disqualification. El Phantasmo hits, was it Tama Tonga in the head with the belt?
Yeah, I think so.
And gets disqualified. Bullet Club starts laying out all their opponents after the match. Jay White grabs the mic. He's gone mental, just absolutely wrecking Hikuleo with a chair, hits him with a Blade Runner. He says he's going to take away all of Hikuleo's good memories of Japan and all of the memories that he's going to make in Japan. He's going to take all of them away. Jay versus Hikuleo, loser leaves Japan match. Okay. Now, everyone automatically assumes, well, shit, this is Jay. You know, they're going to do this real quick, and he's going to appear in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, what are the odds this is a way to write Hikuleo out and send him back to Strong?
I personally think that is the way they're going to go, and then set up. I hope set up Tama and Jay, you know, ongoing conflict kind of thing. I hope they're just playing with, you know, the internet constantly speculating that Jay White's leaving, by doing this kind of stipulation and sending Hikuleo back to Strong to develop further, but also in a way that kind of keeps him earmarked as to somebody to watch in the future. That's what I'm hoping happens.
Why? How's the best way to put this? With Jay right now, something has to change. He's been at this impasse for 2 years now since he lost to Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
He's been at this spot in his life where something has to give. He hates working in front of the live crowds that can't cheer. He hates being away, I'm sure, from his new bride, his beautiful new bride. He's making a life for himself in America. Are you sure he's not going to Strong? Like, what are you feeling? 60-40, 70-30?
Look, I mean, it's a very real chance, and they might, you know, the bond with AEW has never been greater, and there's an opportunity where they go, okay, so Jay White gets banished back to America. He's on Strong every week, but he's also on AEW. We're using Kenny a bit more, sort of quid pro quo kind of thing, and that's the route they go, but then can still pull him in for big shows. I could definitely see that happening. So it's almost a 50-50 now that you kind of lay that out, that it could go either way and then begin to develop what's next for Jay White. It's
you don't see him going to another company. You don't see him jumping ship to WWE for anything.
No. I think he
butter knife Jake Strong.
No. I think he's a dojo boy through and through. I think he's locked in with New Japan and will stay locked in with New Japan. Not only that, I don't think he would succeed in WWE. WWE doesn't
never
like
stopped anyone from jumping before.
No,
so.
But yeah, I mean, may just, you know, take the bag or whatever. But you know what they're like, fucking accents and things like that. I don't know. Maybe all the money in the world could get thrown at him. Maybe he goes, but I don't think he would succeed in WWE in the kind of the way. Like, I still think he'd do really well. He's a very good wrestler, but I think he has way more chance of kind of succeeding and doing really well, like he has in New Japan and in AEW.
All right, here. If aliens come to planet Earth, they kidnap you and they say, Rafe Houston, gun to your head right now, gun to the Earth, death ray pointed at the
entire Earth.
Jay White or Hikuleo, who's winning this match? Get it wrong and pay the price.
Fuck, the Earth might be over, eh? It fucking might be a wrap on the Earth. I would, if I had to lean towards the most likely scenario, I'd have to, like, everything says that it should be fucking Jay White because he's like the senior guy, right? But I'm gonna say, how about this?
A fucking monster, dude.
How about this? He's fucking not though. Like, he will be, but he's not. Hikuleo, but with interference from Bullet Club.
I knew that was coming.
Not to help Hikuleo, but to rid themselves of Jay. Like, ELP fucking interferes and goes, see ya, and I run this now. Like, and they just fucking basically execute him. Like all fucking Bullet Club leaders of the past, he gets executed and fucking banished from New Japan. But then they finally get to tell the story of a Bullet Club leader coming back because they haven't actually left to go to another company. He's just been banished from Japan. Because that is the stipulation. Yeah. Loser leaves Japan, not loser leaves New
Japan.
Yeah. I'm now thinking that's more like a Gato pulls some shit, ELP, something like that, and fucking Hikuleo wins, but not like because he defeated Jay White, you know.
That look that ELP was giving as he was walking away, everyone else, he was the last one through the curtain, and he was just kind of looking around like, huh, okay.
And he also wasn't really approving of like the beatdown and shit when it was happening. He was kind of like trying to stop him. He was like, yo, fucking chill out, man. Like, he was like, this is getting out of hand, and maybe there's those conversations behind closed doors from Bullet Club going, this dude's fucking losing it, man. He's fucking lost the title. He's crying all the time. He's fucking blaming this dude. Was it even the real fucking good call to be rid of the Tongans? Hikulea's a monster. Tama Tonga's the fucking never champ. And look at the rig. Maybe we need to bring fucking Tama back.
The rig.
Exactly. Like, maybe we chose the wrong horse in this, and maybe Jay White is the fucking exception to the rule. So then they oust Jay White. They can kind of begin that story of Jay White building himself back up in America, AEW strong. Either ELP is in charge, or maybe even they bring back Tama Tonga to do something with him. Though I feel like they've put in a lot of goodwill to kind of make him like a shining baby face, but there's only so much you can do with him where he is. And yeah, fuck, I've talked myself into it. I think Jay White's going to lose. Yep.
You heard it here first.
Obliterated by Raffe.
The aliens.
But it's like, I always do this with New Japan. I always lay out these like exciting sort of scenarios and things like that, and then it's just like Jay White wins clean, nothing happens. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what we get's never bad. I mean, they're not serving up a shit sandwich, or else we wouldn't have a podcast.
No, not at all.
I mean, if they start serving up a shit sandwich where like we don't care anymore, like, I love you, Count Out, but we're fucking done.
Yeah.
Like,
we started this podcast over on my podcast with me at that point going, are they going to fucking do anything ever again, or are we fucking done before that New Japan Cup? I got you onto my show because I just needed to vent, and I'm like, I need something to happen, anything. If nobody's listened to that episode, feel free to rewind all the way back to episode like 0.2. 0.1 was our guest hosting spot where we first met on the Super J cast. And then 0.2 was where we talk about that New Japan Cup that ended up turning into probably our favorite New Japan Cup ever. It had all the fucking everybody in it, and I'm like, it's nothing but losers. Who fucking cares? And then it ended up being a really, really good time. And that, for me, was the beginning of the rebuilding of New Japan. So they've always got something on the go, and it's never been more enjoyable how it is right now. So, yeah.
New Japan Cup is going to fuck this year, dude. Oh
dude.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a moment. Yeah. That's awesome.
It was an orgasmic moment. I saw it on his face. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Huge. But yeah, a lot of speculation. I'm leaning towards that. I'm backing in that call. I'm backing in.
I love that.
Jay White out of Japan.
You heard it here first, aliens.
Yeah.
Jay White is leaving Japan to spend some time in America with his lovely wife and AEW.
Yeah, and still strong. He will still be a New Japan guy. I don't believe he's leaving New Japan ever. But that will be the story. Also, when I am correct, I get to say, welcome to Earth, bitch, and like just punch out an alien like fucking Will Smith in Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
One of those. That's sick.
It. Yeah. Next match. We still got two matches to talk about. Next match, the KOPW 2023 Provisional Championship. Shingo defeats Sho Toriano and the Great Khan to win the vacant provisional title. This was probably my least favorite match of the entire week.
Wow.
And
okay, it was heavy on the House of Torture, and not even in the charming like dumb way, like in the okay, yeah.
It was there was a lot of it.
All the tropes, yeah.
I don't think it had anything to do with House of Torture. I think it had me not giving a shit about the KOPW.
There is that.
No, it was fine. It wasn't a bad match. There were a couple of spots that made me laugh. I think the the Abe-san moment where they set the House of Torture behind the table and knocked them over. That was pretty fun.
That was fun.
Did you see on Kevin Kelly's Twitter? He posted a picture of them all splayed out everywhere, and like Gino Gambino's pointing at him like, "The fuck are these assholes doing?" It looks like a Ren Fair, a Renaissance painting. It's just like, ooh. Like all it needs is like cherubs floating around.
It was so good. And also my wife like really enjoyed Okan and Shingo together. She's like, could these guys be a team? And I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be fucking cool.
I fucking wish they could be a team. That'd be so cool. Yeah, they're okay. First things first, Okan, let me talk to you, buddy. It is so awesome to see a man. It is so awesome to see a man who is not afraid to leave his chest hair unwaxed. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. He's letting it all hang out. He's all that is man. He is the great Okan, all hail. I love these two when they really get going at each other. It is so fucking fun to watch. I was tittering and laughing and having a whale of a time watching them. So when I say this was my least favorite match of the weekend, doesn't mean it was a bad match. That just the highs were so high over this week. I don't know. How do you feel?
I think that's fair. No, it was fine. It obviously was pretty sort of laid out that it would be Shingo. Though I think there was maybe legs in an Okan or a show taking it. But it kind of looks like, I guess, and we'll talk about the challenge or whatever, I guess, after we talk about the next match. But fuck it, we might as well talk about it now. Shingo challenging Okada, and Okada being like, yeah, well, you've got a belt now. Cool, let's meet up then. And I've never won the KOPW, and I invented it, so let's do that. So it sounds like it's title for title. So I guess after all this time, they finally invented a belt for it, only to kind of abolish it. I imagine it's just going to get absorbed into the world title. And I don't have a problem with it because it doesn't look like they spent much money on the belt.
Oh no. They're going to, you know how the world title, they have like that little B-roll before a defense where they'll have
it's going to show Yano and shit.
The history of the world title, or the history of the heavyweight title, the history of the Intercontinental title, and then it'll go through the history of the fucking KOPW title.
It's got like ELP fucking smashing the trophy. It's got fucking dog cage matches and fucking it's got the who's your daddy stipulation. It's fucking
fuck. Oh my god!
I hope that happens.
I hope they get rid of that piece of shit.
Yeah, it's literally Shingo just going, "You created this mess, fucking Okada. Have it fucking back.
Yeah,
here you go,
it back."
And Okada being like, "Cool. It stands for Kazuchika Okada Pro Wrestling, and I'm gonna just have it. Put it in my house."
And he's gonna absorb it in just like Kota Ibushi did, and yet everyone's gonna be very, very excited.
Yeah, exactly. It's going up in the house next to the V4, like fucking with all the other belts he's retired, and that's it.
Oh man,
yeah. Who cares?
I hate that fucking piece of shit. What a fucking terrible belt.
Yeah. See you later. I liked Okan holding it. I thought that was kind of cool.
When Shingo, like, dude, seeing that piece of shit, that fucking toy next to the beautiful Rev Pro belt,
it was a joke. It was a literal joke. The Rev Pro title is so fucking cool. And it's like, why would you even want it? Like, the way the belt moves, like, it just looks like it's... Amy goes, is that belt made of cardboard?
Yes. It's like, it's made of, like, pleather. Yeah, it's not even real
actual
leather.
Piece. And like, you can clearly see the Velcro. They've spent no money on this piece of shit. So it leads me to believe they ain't got it. It ain't long for this world.
So yes, we've heard it here first. Aliens gun to the planet, and Shingo is gonna become the dual KOPW World Heavyweight Champion.
I was saying Okada was going to become the dual champion, but
V0 for Okada.
Yeah. Chances of Shingo becoming champion again and dethroning Okada.
Ooh, not bloody likely. I want it. I want another Shingo title reign. I do.
It would be cool.
Yeah,
like in now the non-COVID era, like people love him. You know, like he's so charismatic.
I love him.
So cool. I would say he's cooler than Okada. He's by far cool. He's one of the coolest guys on the roster. He's so fucking cool. He's a great fucking wrestler. Like I think there'd be legs in like an ongoing Shingo Okada rivalry. It'd be cool. But then, you know, if he takes the belt off Okada, then it leads to Will and Shingo for the pugs like that. The pugs are getting worked up at the thought.
The pugs are getting worked up.
They're getting riled.
I'm getting worked up at the thought of that. Oh my God, those pugs are excited. Feel these nipples.
Exactly.
And final match. Red Shoes finally makes his way out. The main event, Jeff fucking Cobb, Aaron fucking Henare, the United Empire. Oh my God, two bad motherfuckers.
I've been wanting to see them as a team for a while. I thought they would be badass together.
Yes. You were saying that you wanted them for a World Tag League, for sure. Then, who are their opponents?
Who's it going to be?
What, that music sounds familiar. Dun, 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 dun. Didn't he just leave and go? Didn't he just go back to fucking AEW? It's Kenny fucking Omega. The goddamn Kenny Omega U.S. champion comes out.
Fucked up.
He's still there.
His eyes black as fuck. I did enjoy
beyond recognition.
Didn't you like the mystery kind of thing of this show where Kevin's like pointing out in the last one? He's like, I just realized this isn't the main event. He's like, Abe didn't say this was the main event, so there's still more action to come after this, you know? So, yeah, we didn't know what it was going to be, and Ken even played it like he didn't know who his partner was going to be. You were like, it's going to fucking be Omega, going to be Okada, and I was like, what if it was Ibushi returning, which would also be really awesome. I've just got my eye on that second Wrestle Kingdom coming down the pike, being in the Ibushi colors, got me interested, but yeah, and also the rumors of him.
Is that the one against Noah?
Yeah, the one that's at Yokohama or whatever. I just noticed it was in those kind of Ibushi colors, and then also there was kind of talk of him like watching Shibata's match and like sitting next to Obari and shit. So I was wondering if that fence had been thing. I go, what if it's Ibushi? And Amy goes, and then what if they kiss? And I was like, yeah. So, but
what if we all get a puppy?
Exactly. What if it happened? Check under your seat. You've all got a puppy. Gaffer tape to the underside of the chair. But yeah, it's Okada and Omega's like, all right then, and then you get the belts clinking and kind of like, okay,
scenes, dude.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter called it Devil's Reign. Was the name of the?
That's a great title.
I love it. I want Devil's Reign to be a thing like all the time now.
Yeah, that was cool, and like I just love that they throw those little details in there, and like they were already doing like combo moves and shit, like, and they like have just been thrown together, and they're already just like because they know each other so well, they're just like nowhere to be, and it was fucking cool.
What was it you said to me earlier? You said Aaron Henare gets to live on forever in gift form.
He does, yeah, exactly. I had tweeted out my Instagram. I was like, fucking Aaron about to become the fucking new number one contender when he pins Okada. That didn't happen, but he does get to live on forever, man. That's a huge spot for him. I mean, headlining New Year's Dash the day after Wrestle Kingdom, the big first ever time that Okada and Omega have teamed together, and then being the person to receive that, Devil's Reign fucking combo finisher, whatever you want to call it. Like he's going to live for eternity in the fucking gif of them doing that together all over social media and stuff. If they were playing in the match at the back or whatever, and I'm Hanare going, don't worry, Cobb, I'm lying down for this one, mate. I got you, big dog.
Yep.
Like, don't worry about it. Okada's like, John, just like, you know what, you've been here longer, man. He's like, no, I insist. I got this. Like, and fucking be the one to take that finish. And
Hit me with that baseball bat cracking fucking clothesline. Let's go.
Yeah, V-trigger to the back of the fucking head. God. Let's do it. Like, yeah, it was sick, dude. And
the stills from that fucking moment. Yeah. Like someone, oh God, I don't remember who it was on Twitter, got that fucking collision. You see the fucking Rainmaker coming in. You see the V-trigger making impact, and you see fucking Aaron Henare like just obliterated,
just dead,
just lights out, gone.
Yeah, and he sold like $1 million as well. He just died. Like, perfect.
I love that these two, like, world champions, two of the greatest wrestlers on planet Earth, and we're talking about how fucking awesome Aaron Henare looked taking a double finisher.
Yeah, and fucking we should as well, because
so fucking we should, and it's like that just shows how fucking great he was in this match. Jeff Cobb, like, taunting Kenny Omega, like, the balls on that, man.
Doing the
fuck
fucking
yeah,
guns
dude,
and shit. Like, yeah,
exactly. Get it, Jeff. Absolute scenes. Jeffrey Cobb fucking plants Kenny Omega a fucking mile deep, and gets a green leather strap for the fucking US title. Oh man, I'm gonna fucking love it. I'm gonna love every fucking.
You reckon it's Cobb and Omega first defense?
I'm sure it will be. That's what it looked like. And God knows, like, Cobb can, like, he could throw a man a mile. Mm-hmm. He's going to be able to throw Kenny Omega, like, with Kenny's selling, he's going to be able to throw Kenny Omega into the fucking sun.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. I thought it was super fun. And again, the same as the main event from the night before, send everybody home happy. Fucking Okada and Omega are friends. Everything fucking works out. Then in comes a sneaky Shingo, fucking shit-eating grin on his face to again interrupt and set up that challenge. And though I don't give a fuck about KOPW, I do think that Okada and Shingo together will be absolute money. So, and so ends a 2 days of great fucking wrestling time. Oh, and we didn't even talk about fucking the backstage altercation. There's been a altercation backstage with LIJ, and it was Congo walking backstage and confronting LIJ in some kind of promo, which, like, Kevin Kelly was selling it like it was a physical altercation. There was no physicality at all. They just kind of walked in and talked some shit or whatever. I wish it was a brawl going back, like they keep flicking back and like Congo and LIJ just beating the fuck out of each other out the back. That would have been really fun. But
Kano's just fucking standing there, and they're all lined up behind. Nakajima's lined up there. All the guys are lined up like they're fucking ordering kebabs at fucking 2 a.m. Like, come on, dude. Like, and they were like, there's an altercation backstage. Like, no, there's not.
And just they've showed up and said hello. But that's also a very...
They might have thought it was an altercation because Kano's like the world's angriest motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, just the most put upon, annoyed, pissed off human being. I love him for that.
Yeah.
And I also love the fact that he hates fucking Tetsuya Naito because Naito can fucking poke and prod the bear.
He doesn't give a fuck about anything. And so, yeah, they're a perfect opposing force to each other. But, yeah, I guess probably at that Wrestle Kingdom that we were mentioning, it'll probably be, Congo versus LIJ. Or Ken. I would love a Keno versus Naito singles. That would be sick.
Oh, man. What if they do like because we've already had the Congo versus LIJ, what if they do a thing where it's like, you pick, your 5-6 dudes, whatever, and we'll pick our 5 or 6 dudes, and we'll see who fucking comes out on top, right? Like 6 matches, we'll add them up.
Yeah, that would be cool as well. Like singles matches rather than
6 singles matches, or like one junior tag team match, 1 heavyweight tag team match, and 2 singles matches, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I'd be into it.
If they could the whole show could just be LIJ versus Congo, I'd watch it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, fucking, are you gonna pay extra for it?
No.
You gonna wait 2 weeks just to watch it?
I'll wait longer than 2 weeks. I don't give a fuck. So, I'm not paying extra for much,
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. But
Well,
yeah, I think
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you again one more time. I opened it with this question. I'm going to ask you again. Death ray to the earth, Martian death ray to the earth, gun to the earth. Is New Japan back?
And I said it before, New Japan never left, baby. The only people that left were the fans. Bitch. Exactly. The only people were people that just lost interest. And to be fair, I mean, they never left, but they did lose their spark for a while there. But the world was fucked up, man. Like, it was a different place to navigate. There was restrictions in place. I don't think the bookers or, like, the talent ever lost a step. It's just they were really handcuffed in what they could do and what they could achieve. And now that everything's opening back up and everything's turning around, they're able to start to operate at their potential again. And I think they ended the 2022 season with a bang with Wrestle Kingdom 17, and they have kicked off 2023 with a bang with New Year's Dash. And unlike some other previous dashes where literally nothing has happened, they had lots of things going on, lots of storylines and seeds in place to kick us off in a really good way for the new year. So I'm excited. Don't want to quit the podcast. Very interested to keep talking about it. And yeah, I think it's really good. So I guess we'll probably still do a wrap-up show, right? Do we want to do like sort of a year in review? I'm not good at memory, but we could still do that kind of vibe, or yeah, I don't know.
I think we should just say like our favorite moments from the year that was.
Yeah.
And then like maybe one or two of our least favorite moments from the year that was, because we always end up doing that and bumming ourselves out at the end of the fucking show. And maybe we'll talk to our friends out there, specifically anyone who listens to our podcast. We want to hear from you. What was your favorite moment from the year in New Japan? It doesn't have to be like a specific match. Like if you met a New Japan wrestler, you were at a fucking AEW show and you met Jay White or something, yeah, tell us, man. That'd be fucking cool. Let's hear about it. Let us know. We want to hear from you. If you're listening to this podcast, you specifically, we want to hear from you.
Please DM us, mention us on the tweets or the Instagram, anything. We want to focus on the positive vibes, I reckon. High moments in your New Japan fandom for 2022. That's what we want to focus on.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And if you enjoy the cut of our jib and you'd like to hear more dick jokes for free, where can they find you, Rafe?
You can find me at Faces Feels Cast. That's where I interview all sorts of professional wrestlers from around the world. You can check that out. It's been a little bit slower going over the Christmas New Year's break just because there isn't time to get it out, but I have plenty of interviews in the bank that will be coming real soon. And I'll start my interview schedule again in the new year. I think I'm going to try, Curtis, to balance my life a little bit better this year. I have a thing where I just run hot on everything. I'm trying to fit in 20 interviews a week, trying to speak to you on a fortnight, do all these things. And I think I'm just going to slow it down and go for consistency over, quality over quantity. So I think I might try and do like an interview a month, or maybe only 2 interviews a month, and then Okada shorts fortnightly, and leave myself some space to like enjoy a day off occasionally, where I'm not like recording 3 interviews in a day and ending up with this huge backlog of stuff, and that's going to be the goal, is to keep up that quality over quantity. And then you and I have talked about some new endeavors we want to do and ideas we have for the show, and, bigger concept stuff. Like we had heaps of fun doing like the end game kind of thing. And we have plans to sort of continue that as a segment we occasionally do with the fantasy booking stuff. So I want to keep on exploring ways that we can set Okada shorts apart and do fun things that entertain us, So in the new year, I think we're going to have a real good time. I think we're going to continue to find our vibe and just have fun being fans of New Japan.
That's right. We're gonna be strong 2023 vibes, man.
Yeah.
We got also Tamashi 2023 vibes. Also, AEW 2023 vibes.
Absolutely. And I mean, I already know, like, we're traveling in 2023. I'm going to be in Japan in April. Whether there's no shows announced yet, so I don't know whether there'll be anything on, but either way, I'll be in Japan, which is going to be a huge return back to fucking my favorite place in the world. So that's going to be awesome. I'll be able to share stories from that, maybe even meet up with a couple of my friends over there. And get it popping and really just like enjoy doing this show. So thanks for doing it for me. Like in 2022, man. How long have we been doing this now? Over a year? I don't even
No.
When did we
started
start?
this in April.
Was it April this year?
I think it was April.
Just been
this year because it was New Japan Cup time.
So we've known each other longer than that, obviously, because we started with Super J, but then we started Okada Shorts. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So, known each other for over a year, but Okada Shorts hasn't quite hit a year yet. So, yeah, I am very excited to continue this, and maybe there's some other fun things that we can do along the way.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hells yeah.
Well, if you enjoy our particular brand of whimsy and would like to give us gifts of money, we could really use your help over at patreon.com/countoutpod. That's where you can give us gifts of money in the $1, $3, or $5 range, American, and that will go to help out everyone on the Count Out Podcasting Network to do new and special and fun things. You'll hear all sorts of different podcasts like Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything and Your Dose of Death and How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling and a bunch of other great shows. And so all that money goes to helping out badass podcasters to do badass podcast things, and we appreciate it. If you can't give us gifts of money, not everyone has the money it takes to give us money. If you don't, go ahead and just rate us 5 stars or, leave a review or tell a friend. And if you've done all of those things, we love you. If you haven't done all of those things, it would help us out and we would appreciate it immensely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's just all about community on the internet and like podcasts and things. It's a slow growing business. I know I've done mine for a few years now, and it takes a bit to start to build up steam and build up, goodwill with your listener base and things like that. But any sharing or commenting on things or liking things, it all matters and it all helps, raise the profile of the show and allows us to share it with a greater number of people. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening in 2022. I hope you had fun coming along with the ride with us. And, and so begins 2023.
And it's off to a good fucking start, man.
Absolutely. What a fucking Wrestle Kingdom. What a New Year's dash. Let's do that thing, man. It's rate and subscribe, listen or die. Keep it right, keep it tight, and most importantly, keep it what?
Short.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
It's Amanda Bones.
And I'm Ashley.
Of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, the podcast on the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network, a weekly show where we talk about all of our favorite things, babes, blood, and brutality.
We also talk about other fun things, like is Kenny Omega finally too tan? And how much blood is too much blood? Because that looks like way too much blood.
So join us on the adventure of teaching me, Amanda Bones, about wrestling.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.